Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are Minnesota.
This Twins and Rangers game on Fox Sports North is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Twins are down in Texas. They'll be here for 6 games, 3 with the Rangers and 3 with the Astros. And tonight, the series opener at Globe Life Park in Arlington. And Drew Hutchison, who was picked up by the Rangers mid-season, he's a veteran journeyman pitcher, will go against the rookie left-hander Steven Gonsalves of the Minnesota Twins. And we welcome you to Arlington, Texas. Dick Bramer joined for this, or the rest of this road trip by LaTroy Hawkins, and you went through it a little bit in 1995. The nerves overwhelming a young pitcher. In this case, it's been Steven Gonsalves, and the Twins are hoping that he'll feel a little bit more relaxed out there every time out.
Well, yes, after his first start, he told me that he couldn't feel his legs. They were shaking all over the place, but now he's starting to get comfortable. His last game out, 5 innings, he was able to pitch and felt comfortable not having his best stuff and was still able to get out. But he's going to have to pitch ahead in the count to be successful and use his full arsenal. Putting hitters out, putting hitters away when he's ahead in the count, and being able to throw his off-speed pitches when he's behind in the count, because all hitters in the major leagues can hit a fastball, especially when they're up in the count.
Well, 2 teams that are struggling in the standings, but they both got some very potent power hitters. For the Minnesota Twins, of course, Miguel Sano hit a home run last night in Cleveland, and Joey Gallo, one of the more powerful left-handed hitters in the game. It'll be the first of 3 between the Twins and the Rangers when we come back. Twins baseball on as August comes to a close, both the Twins and the Rangers have struggled to score runs, and the Twins and Rangers have struggled to win ball games as a result of that. The Twins hope for a win here tonight in the month's final game to finish August at 500. At one point they were 12-9, but a little 4-game skid that started at Target Field, carried into the opening game in Cleveland, has brought the Twins actually a game below 500. Sanford Health injury report: the Twins will play very likely the rest of this road trip without Eddie Rosario. That last step, reaching for the bag on his infield hit yesterday in Cleveland, tweaked a quad muscle, and he stayed in the game, played for another inning or so, but then had to come out, and the Twins are going to probably put him on the shelf for the balance of this road trip. He's been obviously their most consistent hitter all year long.
Well, it's unfortunate to see, that Eddie Rosario getting hurt last night, but hopefully it's nothing serious and he can come back and continue to have a fantastic 2018.
And the Rangers, of course, found themselves struggling this year, sitting in the bottom of the American League West. 7 games behind 4th place Los Angeles, 24 games behind the Houston Astros. And Steven Gonsalves will be making his 3rd major league start. As we've suggested, there was a great deal of improvement from start 1 to start 2, because, as you said, he couldn't even feel his back leg when he was making his major league debut. What was it like for you? It was quite a few years ago, back in 1995, but you kind of went through the same thing that Gonsalves did.
Well, you're right, and I think every pitcher comes up, and every player, once you get called to the big leagues, you have those nerves. And you know what you did to get yourself to the big leagues, but you try to do more, and you kind of get caught up in the moment. But my second time around, when I got called back up that September, I was more nervous than I was when I made this team out of spring training in '95. Yeah, I guess I should have had those type of nerves in my stomach and going on the first time, because I was more relaxed. But when I came back up in September, I was nervous. I was about as scared as they can come.
Well, let's see if the Twins can give Gonsalves a little early run support. Here's the Menards batting order minus Eddie Rosario. Joe Mauer leading off. Jorge Polanco back in the lineup. Robbie Grossman, Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, Mitch Garver, Jake Cave, Tyler Austin, and A-Ray Adrianza.
Tonight's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. Drew Hutchins, one of my teammates in Toronto in 2015. Decent fastball, probably 88 to 91, but his main out pitch is his changeup. I remember him having an extremely good changeup, and I'm sure he's going to use that against the left-hand hitters and the right-hand hitters.
Northland 4 defense for the Rangers. Shin Soo Choo in left, Carlos Tochi in center, Nomar Mazara is in right, then Profar, Andrus, Odor, and Gallo the infielders, and Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. Very warm and muggy here. Temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. Heat index over 100. Todd Tichenor calling balls and strikes. Bill Miller, the crew chief, at first. Alan Porter at second. Angel Hernandez at third. Now the Rangers have struggled, as we said, scoring runs. Hutchison's 28 years old. Started the year in the opening day roster for the Philadelphia Phillies. Spent some time in the Dodger organization, and then was picked up earlier this month by the Rangers, and making his start here tonight on 6 days rest. Mauer in the box. We're ready to go, and Mauer takes inside, ball 1.
Hutchins pitched against, he's 2-0 with a 4.41 in his career against the Twins. 8 earned runs and 16 1/3 innings pitched, and a couple of those starts were in 2015 when we were teammates in Toronto.
Taken low, it's 2-0. Overall, the numbers haven't been good for him or the Texas pitching staff. They come into this game tonight with a 5.86 ERA since the All-Star break. Fouled away, Joe swinging away on 2-0.
They've had a rough go this season because of injuries, and they had some guys traded. Cole Hamels was traded to the Chicago Cubs. But, when we talk about this team and we look at the Twins, I think they've kind of had the same type of seasons with, things that have gone wrong throughout the course of this year.
Mauer drives it foul, 2-2. Fifth start of the year for Hutchison. They're listing the first pitch temperature at 94 degrees.
Just another average hot day in the state of Texas.
Don't know how you do it. Here's a drive to left. This ball's carrying pretty well. Chu back to the warning track. Leaps and can't make the play. Off the wall. It bounds to the center fielder, and Mauer stops at second with a double. Looked like Chu might have had room to make that catch, but he stopped a little short of the wall.
Yeah, I think he got an alligator arm. I was afraid of that left field wall and played that ball into a double for Joe Mauer. It's a fastball up and away, and right where Joe likes to hit the ball at, and he was able to put something behind it and get it out there, and had Chu out there going, doing the little do-si-do, and got himself a leadoff double.
Well, the Twins now with the opening double by Mauer, and Jorge Polanco had some hamstring cramping. Squaring, dropping down a pretty good bunt. And Chirinos fires to first. And Gallo stretches for the throw. Mauer goes to third. So Polanco back in the ball game after having some tight hamstrings, and right away in the first pitch, he's got a bust at the first base on a sacrifice.
Right, he had, trying to get Mauer over to third base, lay down a bunt. If he'd have bunted that ball just a little bit further towards third base line, he probably could have had a base hit out of that. But you're right, with a sore hamstring, and having to, kick it into fifth gear right out the gate. I don't know how smart that was.
Here's Robbie Grossman. He's taken over in left field. He's taken over the third spot in the batting order for Rosario. Infield brought in about halfway here in the first inning, and Grossman takes a strike over the inside corner. He's trying to give their young lefty a first inning lead. Taking low, 1-1.
If anybody's perfect to be in this spot on this team is Robbie Grossman. He takes good at bats, he gets deep in the count, he makes the pitcher work, and he's going to put the ball in play.
Big two-run single in the one game the Twins won in Cleveland. Inside 2-1.
Look at the Rangers, how they defended them. They're not completely all the way in, but they got the infielders halfway. This shortstop, Andrews, and Odor at second base, they're halfway in.
Inside now, 3-1, and Sano on deck.
Good curveball, slider, a breaking pitch right there from Hutchins. He thought he had it for a strike, and Tishner was not buying it.
Grossman taps it to second. No chance for Mauer to score. And out number 2. And it'll be left to Sano to drive in Mauer. BP Brighter pitcher Miguel Sano put up good numbers against the Rangers in his short major league career, but Twins are hoping to see some improvement from Sano in spots like this. Hit a home run in the 9th inning against Brad Hand yesterday. Strikeouts have started to pile up again. 251 at bats, 107 strikeouts.
He's watching Sano take batting practice today, and we all know that he's been very susceptible to that slider in the left-hand batter's box, and he's not able to just hold up. And Smitty, our first baseman, was throwing batting practice to him. He threw one, way outside in batting practice, and he didn't swing it. He recognized that it was a ball out of Smitty's hand. So hopefully that's him starting to try to recognize pitches better and not having to check swing at so many bad pitches.
Pitch recognition is how his manager puts it. You've got to be able to be patient enough to recognize the pitch before you commit to it. That was one of the things that Miguel was struggling with before his demotion, and now it's
creeping back
in again, isn't it?
Well, there's one thing that all the good hitters have in common, and that's that they see the ball a lot sooner than other guys out of the pitcher's hand. And the sooner you pick it up out of the pitcher's hand, the better chance you have to recognize whether it's going to be a strike or ball. The guys that are picking up the ball once it's halfway down, Those guys are the ones that are swinging at the ball, you know, in the other batter's box and always check swinging and never look like they have a comfortable take.
1-2 to Sano. That's the pitch right there that he's struck out so often on, or swung and missed so many times. He took it for a ball. 2-2. He has drawn some walks.
Right, and a lot of times he would check swing right here, which is pretty much, you know, every time he does that, it's a full swing. But he was able to lay off that pitch, and he's in a good count right now. And if he doesn't chase, he can set himself up and get him a good pitch to drive.
3-2 with Kepler on deck.
Sano's one of the guys in the clubhouse. Whenever I see him, I always challenge him, because he's the type of kid that needs to be challenged all the time. Tell him what he can't do, and he seems to always go out there and do it for you.
Full count, 2 down. Bauer at third, and he took ball 4.
Hadn't seen that. It's a great at bat right there. He took some borderline pitches, that he normally swing at, and he was able to not even offer any of those pitches and worked himself a walk.
First and third, 2 down, and now Max Kepler. Max has seen the batting average drop back into the 220s. Over the inside corner. Kepler with 18 home runs on the year. Rosario leading the team with 22. Taken just inside. Post pitch, 1-1.
It's about 3 pitches that have been really close to the last 2 hitters that could have gone either way, and you know, Hutchinson hadn't been able to get that call, and Trinos has been, you know, trying to stick it there so the umpire can get a real good look at it, just in case, you know, next time he throw it there, he's hoping he can get that call.
20th pitch coming up for Hutchinson, and time called at the plate. Just 9 strikes so far. Fell behind Mauer before giving up the double. Ended up walking Sano. Polanco's plate appearance lasted just 1 pitch when he laid down the bunt. High pop up behind second base. Andrus waits and catches. The third out. The Twins leave runners on the corners in their half of the first inning. With the Rangers, and they've got a ways to go. Large batting order for the Rangers with the veteran Shin Soo Choo leading off. Rougned Odor, Elvis Andrus, Nomar Mazara, Adrian Beltre, Jurickson Profar, Joey Gallo, Robinson Chirinos, and Carlos Tochi. And Gonsalves will take these numbers to the mound for his third big league start.
Tonight's starting pitcher stats brought to you by Home Furniture. Mr. Steven Gonsalves, just trying to build on what he did the last time out. He went 5 innings, and he's going to feature his fastball 87-91, with some plus carry, curveball 70-74, and his slider 80-85, changeup 78-82. If he can use all those pitches, should be a good night for the tall lefty.
And you mentioned in the pregame show how important it is for him to work ahead in the count. Of course, the first thing he can do with that is first pitch strikes. He delivered one to Chu. Now third pitch grounded to Adrianza, one away. In his last start, Gonsalves gave up 4 runs in 5 innings. 3 of them were on one swing, a home run by Jonathan Lucroy, and the other one was also a 2-out hit. So one of those situations where the young pitcher was so close to wrapping up an inning, but then a couple of mistakes, and before he knew it, 4 runs on the board.
I think when you're a young pitcher, you go through progressions in your head, especially when you had a shaky first start. Okay, let me get that. Now I'm just going to focus on the leadoff hitter. And then, okay, that's just 1 out. And then the next time out, I'm going to focus on the second hitter. And then once you start getting 2 outs, you're like, oh, I didn't even think about the third hitter. So it's just a process of, you know, not getting too complacent once you get 2 strikes and understand that the inning's not over until you get that third out.
Another first pitch strike to Rougned Odor. Rangers have been beneath the 500 mark ever since April 1st this year. 1-1. They've lost 4 straight. They, like the Twins, have had trouble scoring runs. Odor with, frankly, a pretty nice bounce back season after the struggles he had last year, putting up decent numbers. 267, 17 home runs, 59 runs batted in.
You know, Gonsalves, you know, against left-hand hitters, he just mainly fastball curveball mix, and right-hand hitters he's a fastball changeup mix, and I would like to see him throw his changeups to left-hand hitters as well, to try to keep them off his other pitches and keep them honest against that fastball.
Pitch fouled back. Last year Odor hit only .204. Played in all 162 games, but he hit .204 with 30 home runs, 75 runs batted in.
I think that shows you how mentally tough he is, because when you see a guy that struggled for a whole season, you know, your manager usually, okay, I'm gonna give you a mental break today, and he didn't ask for one of those. He played all 162 last year.
Ground ball to second, 2 down, and that'll bring up Elvis Andrus. Northland Ford defense for the Twins without Rosario, the fixture in left field. It's Robbie Grossman there tonight. Cave in center, Kepler in right, Sano, Polanco, Adrianza, and Mauer. Logan Forsythe not in the starting lineup, but available off the bench, and Mitch Garver doing the catching. Grossman, we've seen him a lot in the DH spot. We've seen him in the corner outfield spots, and he might get a lot of play in left field with Rosario not expected to play either here or in Houston. Here is Andrus.
They're going to have some September call-ups. And I don't know who's going to get called up at this point, but I'm sure there's going to be some outfielder, and he's going to be able to go back to his DH spot, and whatever young guy that we decide to bring up is going to get a chance to go out there and play while Rosario's still healing from that quad injury.
Andrus with a sharp single to left with 2 down. Bring up Nomar Mazara. Twins made a trade yesterday, getting Bobby Wilson to the Cubs and getting Chris Jimenez, who was with the Cubs AAA team in Des Moines, will be among the reinforcements tomorrow. And good for Bobby Wilson. I think anybody who spent any time with him at all realized what a genuinely nice guy he was and how devoted he was to the game of baseball. And here he'll get a chance to be a part, perhaps, of something special in the north side of Chicago.
He played with Bobby in 2012 with the Angels, and I texted him last night once I saw the trade was made, and I just thanked him for coming over here and being such a professional and allowing us to showcase, let him showcase his skills to let the rest of the organization know that he is a big league catcher. And, you know, I wished him luck, and I told him go win himself a ring. He deserves it.
Ball one to Nomar Mazara. Another backup catcher got dealt today. Drew Butera got traded from Kansas City to Colorado. His father Sal's been following the Twins. He was in Cleveland and he's here, and excited that Drew might have a chance to get into the playoffs again with the Colorado Rockies.
I saw his dad in the cafeteria and told him Drew's going to love Colorado. Fantastic place. He's going to love all those guys over there in the organization, and hopefully he can go over there and, you know, get himself in the playoffs and give himself a chance to win a ring.
1-1 to Mazara. Just off the outside corner. Very close pitch. 2-1.
You know, these are the counts that we're talking about. I was mentioning the 2-1. There's 1-1 fastball just off the corner to the left hand hitting Mazara. I mean, it's a borderline pitch, but as a pitcher, you want that pitch. But what he's going to do here in 2-1 in the hitter's count, he'll be able to throw his breaking pitches behind in the count.
Tried for that outside corner again and missed again. 3-1. Beltre on deck.
You can see early on that Tishner is not giving, you know, either one of the pitchers anything on the corners, anything borderline. If it's on the corner, he's going to call it, but you got to be right there.
Trademark and a foul back. 3-2. Andrus, the runner at first, will take off early, and it looks as if the Twins are going to leave Mauer at the bag. Nope. Now he's being moved behind the runner at first.
Yeah, 3-2 with a left-hand hitter swinging like that up. You want him to back as far as possible, just in case he get around one, and Mauer have time, a good chance to react to it.
3-2. Andrus goes, and another foul. Lineup and a little top heavy with veterans. I mentioned it's a rebuilding process, but then you look at who's been hitting so far. A lot of seasoned veterans. Chu, Andrus, Mazara, and Oda are a little bit younger, but then Beltre hitting fifth. Profar's been around a while. On the ground, and Adrianza gets 3 assists. Mauer gets 3 putouts, and Gonsalves has a scoreless first inning.
A major league record right there. Intensity against all their teams, not just the teams with winning records. They play the Cleveland Indians very tough. I think they're 9-10 against them so far. If they can continue to have that intensity against all the teams, they can finish this 2018 season, you know, with a good push.
Garver facing Hutchison, and strike down and away.
Okay, that was a pitch that he probably wouldn't have called strike in the first inning.
Garver got the first Twins hit on the ball game yesterday afternoon, and now he takes another one down and away for a strike. 0-2.
Just a good slow curveball right there from Drew Hutchison. He has a real good feel for his off-speed pitches. We hadn't seen the changeup yet.
And Garver fights one off to stay alive. Twins 62-71. They still have hopes of putting together a strong finish and get close to, if not to, the 500 mark. A homestand coming up with Kansas City. They have 7 games left with them. 6 more with Detroit. 3 more with the White Sox. Contending teams ahead, of course, Houston in the back end of this road trip, then the Yankees at home, and Oakland out in the Bay Area. 1-2. Chopper to third. Profar can't make the play, and I'm not sure he touched it. It hit the base anyway. But if he hadn't touched it and it rolled foul, that would have been a terrible break for Mitch Garver. He got an infield hit as it is.
This is a sinker right there that he beat into the beat off the plate. Profar was playing deep. He had to come in and try to make a bare hand play, and skip up under his hand and just rolled down and hit the bag. He couldn't have bunted that ball any better.
He never touched it. And that ball almost rolled foul. So Garver gets a leadoff hit. Second leadoff hit for the Twins. Mauer started the first inning with a double, and now here's Jake Cave. Strike one.
Watching the games at home, I enjoy watching Jake Cave play, man. I started really keying in on him after he hit that home run in Wrigley Field, straight away center field off the green eye, batter's eye. But you know, he can, man, a good defender. He can throw. I mean, he'll surprise you with some power. I mean, he's a really good player.
Ruben Fowler was just going to say, sometimes I have hunches up here, and every once in a while they're right. I just have a strong hunch that Jake Cave's going to have a big series here. I don't know why.
Well, I would love to see it, and it's in there. It's a perfect time to start, like right now.
Cave, of course, acquired by the Twins late in spring training. Now, as it's turned out, the Yankees have had all sorts of problems health-wise in their outfield. And with Aaron Judge his return from his wrist injury not imminent, they went out and got Andrew McCutchen today. Something they might not have done if they had held on to Jake Cave. Not to compare Cave to McCutchen.
A lot of movement around Major League Baseball before that September 1st.
Cave is hit by a pitch, and he'll go to first, and the Twins have runners at first and second.
It's a curveball down and in from Drew Hutchison right there. Just got a little too close to inside left-hand hitter Jake Cave, and just plunked him on his foot.
First and second, nobody out for Tyler Austin.
It's like a slider, just never stopped returning. Right on the left big toe.
Here is Austin with the Twins and the Yankees. 14 home runs on the season.
I was in the clubhouse early, and I met this kid for the first time, and he's built like a he's a big old boy.
Well, Bert made the comparison. I think it's an apt one. He's got the same kind of physique, same type of swing as Josh Willingham.
You know what? I'll give him that. You're right. Same physique. And what we used to say about Josh when we faced him in our pitchers meetings, like, don't let the short arms fool you, because he can reach that pitch outside.
Pitch is up. It's important to remember that Austin's done all this, 14 home runs with the Twins and the Yankees in just 173 at bats. So it's fun to do. It's not necessarily the most accurate way to project what someone could do over a full season, But you take the numbers and multiply them times 3, and suddenly you're looking at 40 home run a year power.
Well, just what he's shown us over the last 5 weeks, we know the kid has some serious power. That ball he hit at target field in the upper deck, that ball was just absolutely annihilated. But we can get him to hit the ball to the opposite field and just trust that he can hit the ball out of left, center, and right.
Strike out here for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Adriano.
That breaking ball, that really good breaking ball by Hutchinson right there, just down and away out of the strike zone. And Austin wasn't able to hold up his swing. Slider down and away, just running away from his barrel. Ended up with the swing and miss and the strikeout.
Here's Adrianza. Hit what the Twins hoped would be a really big home run in the ball game yesterday against Mike Clevenger. Gave the Twins a 2-1 lead. Now a pop up wide of third. It's chased by Profar, and he has room, and that's the second out on just one pitch. And now it'll be Mauer with 2 men aboard and 2 away.
One of the coolest things when myself and Tori and Morneau, we up here working the games with you, Richard, is that we're always texting each other. We're listening to the broadcast and we're texting each other.
I hope that's good.
We're critiquing each other and giving each other information. And Morneau,
you're critiquing me too, right?
Never. I know you do your job. You do an incredible job. And Morneau texted me and said that he told you it was about Willingham. He reminded him of Willingham, not Bert Blyleven.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so give Justin Morneau his due justice.
Well, I apologize. I thought it was Bert.
He apologizes, Justin. I know you're listening. He apologizes.
1 strike to Mauer.
See if Mauer can get another one of those fastballs and drive it in the left center field gap.
Urban foul down the left field line. Now 2 strikes. Well, Hutchison had to work out of a jam in the first inning after Mauer's leadoff double. He eluded Chu in the left field corner, and now this inning, an infield hit and a hit batter, first and second, nobody out, and the runners haven't budged, and now there are 2 out.
Well, you can see the pitching game plan with Mauer. They're going to feed him. Everything's going to be away. They hadn't come in one time yet.
Up and away.
And you would think that the way Mauer swings the bat, that's pitching to his strength. But they see something in their scouting report that they're going to pitch him away and let him hit it away, and they're going to squeeze the gap over there in left center field.
1-2. Breaking ball. The dirt struck out Mauer for the second inning in a row. Hutchison pitches out of a jam.
coach Garvin Alston says a big tell for Steven Gonsalves is his pace between pitches. He says if he's out there walking around too much, shuffling the dirt, that likely means he's overthinking things, and that's time for a mound visit to get him back on track and to get him to just trust his stuff and pitch. The Rangers announced that Bartolo Colon will be Sunday's starter, and for the Twins, no decision has been made as they shift into a 6-man rotation, but Paul Molitor said testing out an opener is a possibility for Sunday. Matt Belisle threw a good live BP session today. They plan to activate him tomorrow. They also plan to call up Chris Jimenez, which means two guys who are big key pieces to the success last year will be reunited. Two guys that are often described as having a huge impact that goes beyond what you see on paper, guys.
Drive to right center field off the bat of Beltre, caught by Cave. Thank you, Audra. What do you think of this idea that the Tampa Bay Rays brought to Major League Baseball this year? The Twins have tried it in the minor leagues. They may try it on Sunday. This opener, which is essentially a relief pitcher pitching the first inning or two, and then the guy who would perhaps normally start the game picking the ball game up in innings 2 or 3.
I just came off a 10-day trip visiting our minor league affiliates, and I saw it done 3 times, and it worked like a charm. What we're thinking about doing, you know, it could work, and I think it works better when you have a guy like Jake Odorizzi, who the 3rd time around the order, you know, he doesn't do as well. So if we can get the first 2 innings out the way, and then you give him, you know, 4, 5, or 6 innings to complete that game, in that situation it works. But you know, it's just weird to see a reliever start the game for me. I saw it 3 times in the last 2 weeks, and it was just weird.
It's been weird to see it at the big league level, but the numbers support the wisdom in doing it and the effectiveness of the Rays when they've done it. Well, the ERA in the first inning or 2 for the Rays when they've gone that route has been better than the norm by quite a bit. Pitch is outside, and it's 2-1 to Jurickson Profile.
You know, we go back to that Adrian Beltre at bat. First pitch was a ball. Second pitch, he threw a changeup down in the zone and got a swing and miss, and that's what we talked about in the pregame about, you know, when you get behind in the count, being able to throw your breaking pitches for a strike or to get a swing, whether it's a ball or strike.
First pitch taken for ball 2.
The umpire Tishner hadn't opened up yet. He will.
3-1 count, excuse me.
He must not be too hot back there. He must have like air conditioning built into his gear.
And there's a walk that'll put Profile aboard. 1 out walk will bring Gallo to the plate. Steve Buechele, longtime Ranger third baseman, now their first base coach. And Profile's aboard with 1 down. Here is Gallo. Talking about Sano's strikeouts, and to be fair, we need to let you know about Gallo and his strikeouts. 34 home runs, 78 runs batted in. Gallo has 428 at bats, 173 strikeouts.
27 away from 200.
There's the first pitch strike call.
But the way the game has changed, people doesn't worry about those strikeouts. The only concern is what, you know, on our sheet, that middle number, and he has 34 home runs and 78 RBIs. He's hitting 210.
One strike from Gonsalves. And flip to first.
In Chattanooga last weekend, they were playing the Marlins Double-A team, and they had a center fielder who had 193 strikeouts.
Oh my. That's it to the gap in left center, but Grossman's there to make the catch. Look, the infield and the outfield swung around. Grossman's able to make the catch of the line drive, 2 down. Twins in yesterday's game, and I know many of you were unable to see it, but in yesterday's game with Jose Ramirez up in the first inning, the Twins put 4 outfielders for Ramirez. He threatened to bunt early in the at-bat and then ended up hooking a vicious line drive to the right field corner. The only problem was with the 4 outfielders, Max Kepler was standing in the right field corner, and he made the catch for the 3rd out. The shift, the extreme outfield shift where there were 4 outfielders, paid off beautifully.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Get the ball down the right field line, and you do not get a base hit out of a double out of it, because our right fielder is standing on the line because of the new positioning.
Right. Twins have thrown 137 pitches with a 4-man outfield, and anytime you've shifted more in any category more than the Astros, you're doing something. And you look at all the pitches thrown with a 4-man outfielder. Just step back though and think about it. You know, everyone, not everyone, but there's so many more hitters now who are focusing on hitting the ball in the air. That's the whole point of launch angle and all that. Well, why would you have 4 infielders when the hitters are simply trying to hit the ball to the outfield and beyond? There's more territory out there in the outfield, right? I mean, geometry tells you that.
Yes.
You play the game at a right angle, so there's more territory out there. So I'm guessing that unless the hitting approaches change, we'll see a lot more 4-man outfield alignments with 3 men on the infield. What's the worst that's going to happen if you know, a ball gets through the infield? It's a single, right?
Well, yeah, it depends on who's running.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like it. It works, but it's gonna come a time where it's gonna go back to where it used to be, where you're playing guys straight up, no 4-man outfields, because the younger guys are seeing this, so they're learning to hit the ball the opposite field, hit the ball the other way. They're learning in the minor leagues to do it. Those big guys, they hit a lot of home runs. I've seen 4 guys in the last 2 weeks, big home run hitters in my bunt, or intentionally try to hit that ball where the
Right.
position players aren't. So it's going to change again. We're seeing a fad that baseball is going through, but it will change back.
But it'll change out in the field when it changes at home plate, right? When the hitters change.
When the hitters change.
Right.
Yeah, everything is predicated on the hitter. If you don't want to hit the ball to the left side of the field, why would we have a guy over there?
Exactly. 2-1 to Robinson Chirinos. Sal was trying to pitch around a 1-out walk.
I think the hardest thing to do is explain to fans of baseball why major league hitters can't hit the ball where the hitters aren't, where the players aren't, position players. It's so hard to explain that to them. It's like it should be easy, but you're going against everything that you're taught. And a lot of times, once you get here and you're here for a while, you are who you're going to be. You're the player who you're going to be.
2-1. Missed. Talking with Joe Mauer about that a week or so ago. Joe said, that's where the increased velocity in the game really comes into play. It's harder to have bat control and position the batted ball where you want when the average fastball is 3-4 miles per hour faster than it was when he started.
That was a very good observation, because I never thought of it that way.
When you played obviously after Joe came, but let's go back to 15, 16 years ago when he was just getting his big league career started. The average fastball then was right around 90 miles per hour, 91. You had an above average fastball, but now the average fastball is resting at like 93. That's a significant difference if you're up there trying to hit the thing. There's a pitch up, and it's another walk. And Garver's going to use a mound visit here, and Gonsalves has walked 2 men here in the second. Carlos Tocci will bat with 2 on and 2 out.
Pitches are throwing a lot harder, and what Joe Mauer told you definitely makes sense. You can't just, it's a difference between guys going 90 and 94, and they're got guys now with more rise to their more carry and more ride to their fastballs, and it makes it tougher to try to guide that ball to where the position players aren't playing.
Tocci 103 at bats this year. Missing outside ball 1 and a 204 average. 4 runs batted in. There's a strike. 1-1.
Watching Steven Gonsalves' video of his first 2 starts, and I watched a lot of his starts in the minor leagues on my computer, and he's always had a lot of trouble pitching in to righties with his fastball, and I think that's because when he sees the catcher sets up in, he starts to fly open and try to get there with his body instead of going there with his arm.
Adrianza cuts behind the bag to catch the third out. Rangers strand a couple, and we head to the third in a scoreless game. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. With Audra Martin and LaTroy Hawkins, Dick Bramer here in Arlington, Texas. No score as we go to the third inning. And it'll be Jorge Polanco leading things off for the Twins in the third. He laid down a sacrifice bunt, getting Joe Mauer, who'd led off the game with a double, to third base, but then the Twins didn't bring him in.
You see Jorge hit a couple home runs, so he don't have to run so fast around the bases.
Over the inside corner, strike one.
Oh, the fastball in right there by Drew Hutchison, and Titchener, he called that a strike, so it looks like he's starting to open up just a little bit more slowly but surely, and hopefully his game start to roll in a little bit.
Now the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Down and in.
You see, he's trying to get to, once he gets to 2 strikes, he's throwing that to the lefties. He's throwing that breaking ball down at their back foot. Same pitch that he got Joe Mauer with his last at bat when he struck him out. Same pitch he tried to get Cave out with that hit him on the foot.
Fouled off a leg.
Starting to really cool down here in Arlington. Earlier when we first started the game, it felt like somebody was blowing an air dryer.
What are you talking about? It's still 93 degrees.
This is cooling down. This is cooling down.
There's a blast to right field. Heading back is Mazzara. Looking up and on the track, he pulls it down on the way. Polanco just got under it a little bit.
Got him a pitch that he can handle, just wasn't able to, deposit it in the right field seats.
Hit it up into that frigid, chilly breeze that's blowing in from right field.
Well, I can tell you this. It doesn't feel like a hair dryer anymore. Does it? No. And that's cooling off for us people that live in Texas.
Here's Grossman. And he takes up ball 1. And this is, I think, the unofficial or maybe the official start of high school football season here tonight in this part of the world, as it is back home. I know. Swung on and missed. The Rangers, in fact, their game here tonight is being bumped from the airwaves on the regional sports network because of a couple of high school football games that are being televised on the primary channel instead.
I live here, and that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. You bump a professional baseball game for a high school football game. I know we live in the state of Texas and football is king, but it's still high school. It's not the pros. This is professional baseball at its highest level.
2-1 to Grossman, and now 3-1 with Sano on deck. Grossman hit a ground ball to second with the infield drawn in halfway. Maurer couldn't score. Then Sano walked. Kepler popped up, and that was the end of the first inning threat. Cracked on a couple of hops to Gallo. Played first base much lately, but he made a nice play there and a hot ground ball, 2 down.
Hutchinson started Grossman off right there with 2 changeups back-to-back. Then a breaking ball and another fastball, and he went upstairs, and as we know, Grossman's always ready for the fastball, and he was able to hit a hot smash down to Gallo at first base.
Sano fell behind early, ended up drawing a walk.
It was a productive at bat for him. You know, he took some tough pitches and spit on some pitches that he normally swing at, and hopefully started getting into, starting to recognize pitches early, like we spoke about, and getting to the point where he only swinging his strikes and hitting them hard somewhere.
29th walk of the year for Sano. It's interesting, none of them have been intentional walks. There's a ball stroked to left. Chu is over to make a diving catch, heading toward the foul line. Fine running diving catch by Shin-Soo Chu, taking an extra base hit away from Miguel Sano.
Hot smash off a breaking ball off Sano's bat, and Chu robbed him of a double.
Yankees, of course, will be coming to Target Field in a little more than a week. 10th, 11th, and 12th of September. Their only trip to Minnesota this year. Ball 1 to Chu, and now ball 2. Chu, Odor, and Andrus in the Texas 3rd inning.
After that first inning, well, he was pitching ahead in the count. The last couple innings, he's definitely started to fall behind. He needs to get back in a good rhythm of throwing strike 1 to these Rangers hitters.
Swing and a miss, 2-1.
He can settle down and get in a good rhythm and a good tempo and start to fill the strike zone up with a lot of strikes.
Just inside 3-1. A little tilt to the head from Gonsalves, like he thought he might have hit the corner there. 2 walks. He got away with them in the second inning. Doesn't want to walk the leadoff man here in the third. There's a strike 3-2. Chu's hitting leadoff because he is a high on base guy. Not only a 280 hitter, but he draws an awful lot of walks. And he took ball 4. Gonsalves now his walk. 3 of the last 5 batters. That'll bring up Odor. Odor hit a ground ball to second his first time up.
The strike zone's just starting to elude his pitches right now. You need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and remember that you have a defense out there. Let them put the ball in play. You can't strike everybody out, and just let it eat. Don't try to be too fine, because as you see, the umpire is not giving you a lot of pitches.
Popped up off center field. Grossman running in, and he's there for the catch. 1-1. So far, Gonsalves has gotten just 1 ground ball double play. If he can get Andrus to cooperate here in the 3rd inning.
Saw Grossman come flying in for that ball, and it looks like the wind up there is playing a little tricks with the ball. That's why Chu, did his little dance out there, and you saw Grossman run in. He had to slam on the brakes extremely fast and hard, and drift back to his right to catch that ball.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's the wind, maybe the twilight. This is a tricky time for outfielders with the sun setting now, and sometimes baseballs get lost in the twilight. Here's Andrus with a single his first time up. Just outside ball 1.
With Gonsalves' fastball, and like I said, it's 87 to 91. He's not a guy that throws, in the upper 90s. His fastball has sometimes it has a little cut action to it. His curveball is an 11 to 5 break, and it's big and loopy. His changeup is short, but with some tilt, and the tilt comes from his arm angle, and his slider is sweeping. It has some angle, and that's also the angle because of his arm angle, and not depth because of how good the pitch really is.
46 pitches, 24 strikes, 22 balls. So the strike percentage needs to improve. So far, he's survived. Not throwing as many strikes as he'd like. There's 1 on the outside corner, 2-2.
Elvis Andrus, he's a guy that he'll hit the ball wherever it's pitched. If it's pitched down in the way, he's going to shoot the ball to right field. If come in on him, he's going to try to turn on it.
Runner to center, a base hit. And Andrus has both Texas hits, first and second. 1 down now for Nomar Mazara.
And it didn't let me get to the fact that if you throw the ball down the middle, he'll shoot that ball right back to center field.
Mazara with runners at first.
It's a breaking ball right here over the middle of the plate, 83 miles an hour, and Andrus picked up the second hit of the night for himself and for his ball club.
Mazara hit a hard ground ball to Adrianza's first time up. Gonsalves would love to have him do that again, see if the Twins could turn a double play. Slow breaking ball hit the corner, 72 miles per hour.
And that's that 11 to 5 curveball I mentioned. That sometimes he tries to, he throws for a get me over pitch or sneak that first strike to left-hand hitters.
Rangers with just 2 hits. Gonsalves has issued 3 walks. Away.
You mentioned he has 3 ground balls, and all 3 to Adrianza at second base, and all 3 of the ground balls came off the bat of the left-hand hitters, Chu, Odor, and Mazara.
7 strikes, 23 balls now. Pitch number 51. Pitch up, foul back.
It's a good hack. Good hack on a fastball that's elevated.
But I think, based on what we've seen from Twins pitchers and pretty much everybody in baseball, if it's up out of the strike zone, you get away with it up there, right?
You know, with Gonsalves and a lot of guys now, they have that good carry on that fastball. We talk about the high spin rate, and he has the, you know, equated to he has carry. The ball doesn't start to, you know, go down. It stays straight a lot longer, and that's why he's able to get away with it.
Lifted to the left. Grossman going back. Now on the warning track, makes the catch for out number 2, and the runners retreat. It's just a little bit darker now than it was when Grossman caught Odor's fly ball. 2 away. That'll bring up Adrian Beltre, our DQ combination. Ichiro Suzuki will tell anyone who will ask him he's still an active player, even though he hasn't added a bat in 4 months. Pujols is over the 3,000 hit mark. The strong suspicion is Suzuki's going to announce his retirement after the Mariners play the A's in Tokyo next March to start the regular season, that he will be an active player for the Mariners next March, and then perhaps announce his retirement. 1 strike to Beltre.
So he wants to announce his retirement in Japan.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Fouled back, 2 strikes.
It's one thing we all know here is he's already retired, pretty much.
I don't think that he'll be playing anymore for the Mariners, certainly this year. They've got a lot of ground to make up. Although I suppose he still takes batting practice with the team, and for September's rosters can be expanded. That's potential that he could get some at bats in September.
Well, Richard, I'll throw a bullpen if you let me.
Hey, you might be the starter on Sunday, right? Rosters expand. Might have an opener.
No, I
You could be you for an inning or 2. You look like you got a couple innings left in you.
Looks are deceiving. Very deceiving.
1-2 to Beltre.
Make a good pitch right here. You either go down and in at his back foot, hoping to swing over the top. Not that pitch right there.
92 down the middle, and Beltre had a good hack at it.
You understand he doesn't have to work so much harder with his body trying to get in the right-hand hitters. He starts to fly open, and it leaves his arm in no man's land, and either he misses really bad or he never hits the spot.
Nice block by Garver. That ball landed 4 feet in front of the plate. Two and 2.
It's a tough out right here. It's a big pitch. I'm going back with the changeup, down and away, see if we can get him to swing over the top of it.
Runners go, and the pitch fouled away. Chu took off from second. He would have stolen third, and Andrus would have swept into second behind him. They each got great breaks.
There's that blow dryer again. You feel it?
Put a couple of men aboard in the second. Gonsalves left them there, trying to do the same thing here in the third. 7th pitch of this at bat. The inside move from the left-hander, keeping Chu honest at second.
Another big pitch. Still looking for that changeup. See him swing through it.
Off-speed pitch, hammered, foul down the left field line. Beltre's name brought up in some trade rumors both before the July deadline and tonight's midnight Eastern deadline. He's got the right to refuse any trade as a 10-5 guy. 10 years in the big leagues, 5 years or more with one club.
Change up.
Just missed 3-2. Gonsalves was headed towards his dugout. He thought he threw a perfect pitch to strike him out.
That was a really good 3-2-2 change up right there, right at the bottom of the zone. I mean, that's a pitch that you want. Wasn't able to get it. Beltre thought he was rung up right there. Now you have to compose yourself and make another good pitch. I'll throw that same pitch right there in the same spot. You'll get a good swing out of it.
Go to the right field corner foul.
He couldn't pull the trigger on that changeup because it was such a good pitch. A 2-2. And I'm thinking he's not going to be able to get him out with his fastball. Won't strike him out with his fastball. He only get to strike out with a changeup.
He'll take a pop up here, wouldn't he?
A sac fly would be great.
Oh, where was that one? Just off the outside corner. It is the second walk of this inning. And the bases are now loaded for Profar, who walked his last time up. Salve is just missing or not getting the call.
Garber's doing a good job.
Here.
It's a great job by Garber and Polanco and Sano going in to just settle the youngster down because they saw he got a little emotional after he didn't get that 2-2 changeup that looked like a strike. You know, it's a good job by the, some of the guys that have been in the big leagues for a couple of years. Settle him down so he can make a good pitch and get out of this inning.
Profar drew the first walk. And now Gonsalves has walked 4 of the last 9 batters.
You know that old saying, your mom said, you play with fire, you get burned. And walking guys, he's definitely playing with fire right now.
First pitch strike to Profar. Bases full of Rangers with 2 down. Drill to the left field corner and off the wall. Chu scores. Andrus scores. Beltre to third, and it's 2-0. So as was the case in his last start when all the damage done by the A's against him was done with a 2-out hit. It's a 2-out double here in the third.
Just a hanging, lazy, get me over breaking ball that Profar recognized were out of his hand. And if it was in the hitting zone, he was going to put a good swing on it. And the only good thing about that pitch right there, he didn't hit it out of the ballpark. It's a double, 2 RBIs, man on second and third. Still got some work to do, Gonsalves. Got to still make good pitches and try to get out of this inning and minimize the damage.
2 in scoring position, and a ball whistled to right field, and Kepler comes in to make the catch. And Gonsalves gives up a couple in the third, but the Rangers have left 5 men on through 3 innings.
4 out of the 9 hitters. Put himself in a position where Jurison Profar can hit a hanging double for a 2-run RBI scoring double in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Drew Hutchins, 2 Ks, 1 base on ball, 2 hits, and 3 innings so far. And I think it's the Twins' time to make him throw some pitches, leave him out there in the conditions where it's very hot, and get some runners on and make him make some mistakes.
He's hit a couple of balls hard in the 3rd inning, but he had a 1-2-3 inning, and now Kepler takes ball 1. And if you go back to the Beltre plate appearance, ended up a walk. It's not the first time, won't be the last time that a future Hall of Famer got the benefit of the doubt against a rookie pitcher. Doesn't mean it should happen that way, but that's been the way the game's been played for 150 years.
That don't make it right.
Nope.
It's coming from a pitcher. That don't make it right. A strike is a strike. I don't care if Babe Ruth's hitting. It's a strike.
I'm with you 100%.
But I would say that pitch was borderline. It was borderline, and if it's going to be a borderline pitch between a rookie and a Hall of Famer, I think the call should go to the Hall of Famer.
Andrus in short left field makes the catch, 1 away. Here's the pitch we were talking about. It looked like it had Beltre struck out. You were clamoring for a good changeup, and he threw it in a perfect spot.
The 2-2 changeup. I didn't want to throw it over the middle of the plate up, so he was able to get it down at the bottom of the box that they show us on television. And you know, Tishner just wasn't biting on it. I mean, he didn't feel the need to ring up Beltre, the future Hall of Famer, on a pitch that close.
Garver with a single and infield hit his first time up. He chopped one off the plate. The ball rolled past Profar and ended up hitting the 3rd base bag. And Cave was hit by a pitch. 1st and 2nd, nobody out, but the Twins couldn't push any runs across.
What are the chances of Garver hitting another ball like that in this game? I'd like to see him chop a ball off the plate again.
Behind in the count now, 0-2. 7 in a row sent down by Hutchison after he hit Cave's foot. Seen from Mitch, you know, this is his first year in the big leagues. He got a handful of at-bats last year. Just outside. What appears from up here at least to be a really good 2-strike approach. We've seen him with 2 strikes get a bunch of hits, and most of them going to right field.
And that just shows you that Garver's not afraid to hit behind an account. And he understands that he can use the whole field as opposed to using, you know, just half the field and putting himself in a position where he can't get as many hits, you know, just cutting the field in half. He understands that using the whole field is conducive to, you know, getting a lot of hits.
Hutchison looked like he thought he'd hit the corner at least once, but now it's 2-2. Pop up center field. Tochi hardly has to move. 2 away. And that'll bring up Cave. Wednesday, September 12th, Minnesota Wild night at Target Field. The Yankees are in town, and a limited number of Wild theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a Twins Wild co-branded stocking cap. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/wild or call 800-33-TWINS. They don't even have stocking caps down here in Texas, do they?
No, I doubt it. I do. I wear them when it gets cold out.
But again, cold for you is what, 60 degrees? It dropped another degree. Let's find you a sweater, shall we? Gee. Cave takes up and away.
Now, when it gets cold here in Texas, I mean, not snow, not cold. Like when I say cold, I'm not speaking of in reference to Minnesota cold. But when it gets down in the 30s, and you know, I have on a sweatshirt and I always have a beanie or a skull cap or whatever you want to call it, I always protecting my head.
Hopper to first. Another 1-2-3 inning for Drew Hutchison, and a 2-0 Rangers lead. You combine the most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports. You get opinion that cuts through the hype. Catch Speak for Yourself, Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock, weekdays at 4 p.m. Central on FS1. Audra Martin, LaTroy Hawkins, Dick Bramer here. Steven Gonsalves gave up a couple of runs in the third, hoping for a quick fourth inning here, and he delivers low to Robinson Chirinos.
Yeah, he needs a quick, 1, 2, 3 inning. Get himself back in the dugout. A lot of pitches thrown in the bottom half of the third inning. Hopefully he can get some quick outs.
Fly ball right field. Looks harmless enough. Kepler trots in. One down. The first 3 outs for Gonsalves were on the ground. All 3 ground balls hit to Adrianza. Every out he's gotten since has been through the air, including Tochi's pop-up caught by Adrianza in the second inning.
He's not known to be a ground ball pitcher. Throughout his career in minor leagues, he's been a fly ball pitcher.
And technically it was a line drive, but it was a very soft line drive behind the second base bag that Adrianza had plenty of time to retreat behind the second base bag to make the catch to end the inning. And now 0-2.
Quickly ahead of Tochi right here. If he can put him away in 3 pitches and give him 5 for this inning, and we can get that third out pretty quickly and get back in the dugout. Give his team a chance to score some runs.
That's one thing we saw from fellow rookie starter Cole Stewart in his starts too, getting to 2 strikes, but then a terrible time, a very difficult time. Not just getting strike 3, but getting the at bat to end. A whole boatload of foul balls with 2 strikes, and the pitch count gets elevated because of that, and the start is abbreviated because of that. 1 and 2.
I laugh because when I started, we were talking about it earlier, I think I led the league in foul balls, and that does nothing but take a chink out of your armor and put you in a point where you're not going to be out there long because your pitch count gets elevated. It's another good pitch right there, down and in from Gonsalves, and still hadn't been able to get that pitch. But the key for him is not to get frustrated. It's a good fastball down at the bottom half of the inside part of the plate.
Fouled away, and another 2-strike pitch wasted by the batter.
The key is for him not to get frustrated. Continue to pound the strike zone. Do not get frustrated, because that's going to take you completely out of what you're trying to do. Umpire's going to see you get frustrated. Your teammate's going to see you get frustrated. And when you get that mad, nothing good can happen.
3-2 to the number 9 batter. Chu on deck.
Do 29 pitches in the bottom half of that third inning.
That's a fair ball past Sano. And the ball stuck in the wall someplace, I believe. And it'll be a double for Tochi. Not sure where that ball got hung up. The security guy. Clearly a fair ball. Hit the chair and then got stuck in his armpit.
Little pinball action right there.
A 1-out double for Tochi, and now Shin-Soo Choo. He's down there to protect her, and he ends up with a baseball in his armpit.
Gonsalves' first pitch right there was a breaking ball, curve ball that was pretty high up over Chu's head. He needs to find that release point, a good release point, and start throwing all his pitches for strikes and staying ahead of these hitters. He let the number 9 hitter in his lineup, Tochi, get a double. Now he has to face the number 1 and 2 hitter with a guy in scoring position.
Strike again. Another foul ball, 1-2.
You're talking about, you know, Cole Stewart and Gonsalves getting the 2 strikes and not being able to put hitters away. It's hard to put hitters away in the major leagues, and they're starting to find that out. This is not the minor leagues where you get the 2 strikes and you throw that breaking ball, your best breaking ball in the dirt, and they're swinging over top of it. That'll happen a couple times in the big leagues, but once they figure out you can't throw that for a strike consistently, you're going to be in trouble.
Bauer to the bag. Chu retired. Tochi to third base.
It's probably one of the best breaking pitches Gonsalves has thrown right there. And you can tell it was a pretty good one because he hadn't had a ground ball out since the first inning on Mazzara, which was a left-hand hitter. So that's how you can tell that was a good breaking ball right there to Chu.
Odor has hit a ground ball and hit a fly ball. 79 pitches for Gonsalves and only 3 swings and misses. On the ground, Mauer with a diving play to his right. Gonsalves to the bag, and then Mauer has problems getting the ball out of his glove, and a run will score. It would have been a close play. Gonsalves looked like he was a step slow in getting over to the bag, and Mauer picking himself up. Almost looked like he kneed the ball out of his glove.
So, a breaking ball right there over the middle of the plate that hit pretty hard down to Mauer. He makes a great stop. When he jumps up, the ball starts moving around in his glove, and it hits off his knee, and he wasn't able to make the play at first base. But like Richard was saying, Gonsalves hesitated getting over there, and only because left-hand pitcher, he's falling off towards the third base side, so he has to make up that ground to get to first base.
A base hit, a run batted in for Odor, a 3-0 Texas lead, and a pitch fouled straight back. Strike. Another 2-out hit, scoring a run against Gonsalves. Fastball off the plate.
We chatted about the, getting the 2 outs or getting the 2 strikes and getting out of the inning and getting out of that at bat, and it's a process. It is a process at the major league level because you're so accustomed to doing it one way in the minor leagues, the way you did it to get you to the big leagues. But now when you get here, there's one of the things that you probably have to do different, and that's, making your throwing your breaking ball in the strike zone a little bit more. And we call that getting outs in the strike zone. In the minor leagues, you don't have to get outs in the strike zone because guys are going to swing at that ball in the dirt. But in the major leagues, you're going to have to get outs in the strike zone because not all guys are going to be swinging at the ball all over the place.
Gonsalves in his last 2 starts has given up 7 earned runs, and all 7 have been scored with 2-out hits. 1-2. Two runs for the Rangers in the third, 1 here in the fourth. Rangers out hitting the Twins 5-2. Matt McGill getting loose. Missing low.
Another close pitch right there from Gonsalves. He gets that pitch up just a hair, and that's strike 3 to Andrews.
Foul. It was not touched by Bauer in fair territory. That ball was rocketed right over the bag. It's not a reviewable play because it was right in front of umpire Bill Miller. I think he made the right call, but Joe's lucky he didn't make contact with that ball. By him before he could get the glove down.
That ball hit in front of him and just took a turn to the right. foul area.
Three and two. A lot of long counts. Pitch count approaching 90. First couple innings were fine, but then a long third inning when the Rangers got a couple of runs, and it was just the fifth batter he's faced. But there seems like every count's gone 3 balls, and it's been another tough inning for Gonsalves.
Not the type of weather you want to have long innings in.
On the ground. And now booted by Polanco. All hands are safe. Ball hit right to him. And Gonsalves will have to work some more here in the 4th inning.
I think that's a direct result of, when a pitcher's out there, he's, like you said, in deep counts, 3-2, 3-2, ball 4, and the defense kind of get on their heels just a little bit. And a routine play right there. One of the best changeups he's thrown. You see he had Elvis Andrus out front. The routine ball to Polanco. He got down on it. And just the ball went in his glove and came out. Now he has to go out there and, try to get this third out against Nomar Mazara.
And Todd Tichenor will come to the mound here, try to break up the meeting. And what was already a long inning is just going to be a little bit longer. We're here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Audra Martin, Troy Hawkins, Dick Bramer, and for a while Patrick Swayze joining us. I understand many of you on satellite were switched to Dirty Dancing instead of Twins television, but we're back now.
Dirty Dancing? What happened?
I don't know. I just found out that we lost
technical
difficulties. Instead of watching Twins baseball, a lot of our viewers were watching Dirty Dancing. Down and away, ball 1.
That pitch right there, he was trying to get a fastball down and away, and he spent off the fastball and threw it right into the ground. You talk about a pitcher going, ball 1, ball 2, 2-2, 3-2, base on balls, and how it affects the defense. It's a real
high blast to right center field and deep. Into the second deck. And the air cost the Twins 3 more runs. Mazara's 17th of the year, and it's 6-0 Texas.
Fastball right over the middle of the plate, just slightly elevated, and you can look at Gonsalves' reaction. He knew that ball was out of the ballpark. 3-run shot for Nomar Mazara.
Well, it's been an unclean inning for the Twins in the infield. Mauer had the ball bounce out of his glove and what could have been the third out. Then the ground ball off the bat of Andrus was bobbled by Polanco, and Mazara takes full advantage by clobbering a 3-run home. most part, had good outings for the Twins, but he's coming off a poor outing back at home against Oakland. He hasn't pitched yet on his road trip. Might be asked to pitch a little while here in his last outing on the 26th against Oakland. An inning, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs.
When you're coming out of the bullpen, you're gonna have games where you're gonna implode, as we like to say, where you're gonna give up that crooked number, and you know it's just part of coming in the bullpen and coming out of the bullpen and just not having your best stuff that day. And he's done a great job. I'm watching the game. I love his fastball. He gets it up in the 94 to 95 miles an hour, and his slider. When everything is working, he's really can put away some hitters.
Beltre checks his swing, no swing.
Oh,
and it's 1-2. Beltre could have been struck out in the 3rd inning before any runs had scored against Gonsalves, but he wasn't. And then the Rangers got a 2-run double after Beltre got the walk. Profar doubled in 2 runs with a smash against the fence. And now 4 runs here in the 4th have opened up the game.
And it's probably why Molly didn't use him in any of those games in Cleveland, knowing that you had the youngster and Gonsalves throwing the first game of the series here in Arlington, and knew that it's a possibility he might have a chance to go out there and throw multiple innings. So he's well rested from his last appearance at Target Field on the 26th, and the day is the 31st. 5 days of rest. He should be able to give us a couple or 3 of them.
1-2. Beltre lines to Sano to end the half inning. Not until the Rangers score 4. Lead it now 6-0. Pepsi fans of the game, loyal Twins fans down here in Texas, or maybe they made the trip here, family trip before school starts next week. At any rate, we appreciate their support as the Twins have fallen behind here early 6-0. Tyler Austin will lead off the 5th, and A-Ray Adrianza and Joe Mauer. Hutchinson has retired 9 men in a row. The last guy to reach was Jake Cave, who was hit by a pitch. The Twins had a great chance to score the first runs of the game. First and second, nobody out, but Austin struck out. Adrianza and Mauer retired, and that was the end of the threats for the Twins so far.
The Twins hitters.
Here's the ball hit right field, hit back. Mazzara looks up and it's gone. Austin goes to the opposite field for his 15th home run of the year.
Fastball down and away right there, and Austin was able to put a very good swing on that ball. I mean, it was a no-doubter. I think Mazzara even looked at it. He just turned and looked at it. He didn't break backwards or anything.
down the middle of the strike zone.
Well, that ball was, I thought it was away. It was right down the middle.
Well, the Twins on the board, but it seems like all the home runs
Solo
are
shots.
solo shots. Adrianza hit a 2-run home run yesterday, but the Twins seems like it's been a long time since they've had a 3-run home run like the Rangers got in the bottom of the 4th. Adrianza fouled out for the second out of the second inning. Now a base hit, and that'll get Hutchinson into the stretch position for the first time in a while.
It's the second time around, you know, seeing him. The guy's starting to figure out and seeing his best stuff, and say they're going to wait on the pitch in the strike zone and put a, you know, hit it hard somewhere.
Mauer with a double off the left field fence in the first, and then he struck out for the third out of the second inning.
Tyler Austin came up in the second inning with runners on base, first and second, and he popped out to the third baseman.
Mauer taking ball 1. And Adrianza chased back to the bag. Won't do any running here, of course, but want to know to Mauer. And now 2-0.
Borderline pitches, still not calling them.
And what the Rangers have gotten from Hutchison has been very unusual since the All-Star break, with an ERA of about 6. Matt Moore getting loose. Cole Hamels, who was the ace of the staff, of course, traded to the Cubs. Now Mauer takes low. Adrianza dives back. It is 3-0. Excuse me, 2-1.
Made a mistake on my scorecard. I know you know, doing a broadcast with Justin and Torrey, you were always talking about your scorecard, and I had it mixed up. Austin punched out his first time runners on second base, and Adrianza popped out to the third baseman. Two-one, good hitters count. You can give Joe Mauer something he can drive. I don't know if he could be throwing a fastball right here. He can always, you know, go off speed and hang some over the middle of the plate. Love to see Joe go down that right field line. There's a lot of room down there.
Base hit right field. Adrianza around second. He'll go to third. Just a little 3-hopper through the right side with Gallo holding on the runner. There's a big hole over there, and Joe found it. And the fifth inning starts with 3 straight hits.
It's a changeup up in the zone that Mauer got around and hit that hole in first and second. Look at the grip right there. Is two fingers on the ball, a circle change grip, which is able to chop it through the infield out to the right field, and Adrianza read it perfect. Ended up at third base.
Polanco with a sacrifice bunt and a warning track fly ball to right. He hit a fly ball and just got under it a little bit. Doug Brocail, the pitching coach, to the mound.
Doug Brocail, one of my favorite teammates.
With which team?
With the Houston Astros. Very intelligent man.
Bannister will give Hutchison some slack here in completing 5 innings at least. Pitch count modest. This is just his 70th pitch. Still got a 5-run lead, but Polanco will try to change that in this 5th inning at bat.
I think he's very close to not getting this win. You know, base hit right here. I don't know how many, you know, how much longer his leash is right now.
Polanco takes inside, ball one. Wins are so less important now in terms of how the game is played. This whole concept of the opener, which the Twins might be trying, throws the importance of the win for a starting pitcher, the pitcher who starts the ball game, out the window, because under that format, 2-0, the pitcher beginning the ball game is only intended to go 1 or 2 innings anyway. So the mandate of a starting pitcher having to go 5 to get a win, well, it's irrelevant under the opener format.
Right, all he has to do is go 3. But if a starter comes in under that new format that they're doing and he only goes 3, it wasn't a good outing. You know, that's designed for a starter to go deep into the ball game.
After the opener.
After the opener,
right.
Yes. If he only goes 3, it didn't go well.
But then it's up to the official scorer to determine if that team wins. The official scorer has to determine which of the following pitchers contributed most to the win.
I think I got a win like that in the playoffs here with Minnesota against the Yankees.
Is that the one where Johan cramped up and you came in?
It's been so long ago, Richard. But I do remember, I think they said I pitched the best, so he granted me the win.
3-1 now to Polanco. Grossman on deck, and I think you're right. I think if Hutchison can't retire any of the first 4 batters in the 5th, he'll get hooked.
You don't finish that inning you put yourself in a position to get the win, and the next guy comes in and get the win. You know what they call him? The vulture.
There's a drive to the gap in right center field. This is hit a long way off the wall, carrying to Tokji, and it'll score 2 runs, and the Twins are back in the ball game at 6-3. A rocket off the bat of Polanco, scoring both Adrianza and Mauer.
Polanco's got a fastball right down the middle. He's able to hit deep into the right center field gap. Well, a double off the wall to score 2 runs. It's a good swing fastball that leaked right back over the plate. As you can see, when he hit it, he thought he hit it out, kind of set back and got in his little rocking chair a little bit. And then he said, "Oh, I got to run." It was deep enough and caromed off the wall far enough that Joe was able to score from first base.
The Twins stinging the ball in the 5th inning, knocking out the Texas starter, and they're back in the game at 6-3. Try to get some outs here. Pitching up into the middle now of the Twins lineup. Grossman hitting 3rd in the ball game tonight. And he, of course, will hit right-handed against lefty Matt Moore. Numbers got not good for Moore.
And he struggled mightily this year. Left-hand hitters are hitting .292, and right-hand hitters are hitting .316 off of him.
And he will face the switch hitter Grossman, then Sano, then the lefty Kepler. Twins hoping there's a little meat left on the bone here. They've cut the lead in half. And have not done a particularly good job. In fact, they've done a poor job in situations like this so far in the ballgame. Runner at second, nobody out. And that runner is not third time it's happened, and that runner hasn't come around to score yet.
I think with the momentum that they started to generate in this inning, there's a good chance that Grossman's going to get this runner in from second base.
Missing inside, and it's 2-1.
A slider right on the right-hand hitter inside, just missing off the corner. And Tishner's not giving any close calls, and definitely not giving any close calls down in the zone.
Hitters count to Grossman, and now 3-1. If he walks, Sano will come up as the tying run. That is a foul ball, just barely. It'll look from up here as if it had been fair. Profar would have had a play on it. 3-2.
Matt Moore started his career in Tampa Bay, went to San Francisco, back to Tampa Bay. Now he's a Ranger. He was starting a couple years ago in San Fran. He's having a really tough go at it this year.
Pitch is up. Grossman walks in. Here comes Sano as the tying run. 5 batters so far here in the 5th. All 5 have reached. 3 have scored. Sano walked in the first, and then he had a line drive to the left field corner, but Chu made a nice diving play on it to turn it into an out. Sano yesterday hit a home run against left-hander Brad Hand. Now facing Moore, who doesn't have the stuff that Brad Hand has. And yet Sano, which isn't hitting right-handers particularly well, but what's really amazing is he's hitting under 200 against lefties. Right down and away.
You have a pitcher who's been struggling, pretty much the whole entire 2018 season. You got to go up there and get a good pitch and put a real good swing on it. When we talk about Twins been hitting a lot of solo shots, it's a good opportunity to do some damage, some real damage with runners on first and second.
All the way, 2 strikes.
Fastball is 91 to 94, 95 miles an hour sometimes. There's a very good cutter, 88 to 92 miles an hour. I'm thinking that's the pitch he's going to try to get Sano out with.
Just missed the inside edge.
Curveball 79 to 82 miles an hour. And the changeup 82 to 85. So all his pitches are right there in the same speed. A good take from Sano. Close pitch.
Driven to right. Running towards the line is Mazzara. He will get there. No chance for any runners to advance on the short fly ball. 1 away. And we'll bring up Kepler. Kepler has seen his average against lefties steadily decline, hitting now 240. Still hitting lefties marginally better than righties.
Total opposite from last year.
What we've seen from him more earlier in the season than later is his ability to drive the ball against a lefty to left center field. Takes in the dirt, ball one.
It's a good take by Kepler, going up there and not jumping on the first pitch that he sees. And that, as you can tell, that was a breaking ball out of the zone. A pitch that Matt Moore wants the lefty to be very anxious and swing at his pitch right there.
Good pitch to hit there. Waited on it and fouled it straight back. One thing is still true, that Kepler, although his batting average has come down against lefties, he's still done a lot of damage. 16 extra base hits out of the 31 hits against lefties, 11 doubles, 5 home runs, 17 runs batted in.
I would call that damage.
You really need to get another run here. Up and away, 2-1. Hutchison chased out of the ball game after giving up 4 straight hits to start this inning.
So Matt Moore mainly against the lefty. You see right, he's pitching. Everything's been away, nothing into the lefty.
Checked his swing, took a strike, and it's 2-2.
And that pitch was middle in, but Chirino set up outside. Chirinos hops to the outside corner on the lefty, and he had to reach back across his body. The ball was right down the middle.
Missed inside, trying to clip that inside corner again. The 94-mile-per-hour fastball, full count. Big pitch here to Max Kepler.
History proves itself right. Lefties are hitting very well off him this year. 292 clip. Get him a fastball and see what he can do with it.
Bouncer to third, into left field. Polanco to third. He'll be held with Chu charging. And Kepler spanks a ground ball single to left to fill the bases. And they're loaded up now for Mitch Garver. Good bat for Kepler. Putting the ball in play hard on the ground.
3-2 fastball, just running away from Kepler. He didn't want to take a full swing. Didn't want to roll over that ball. Just punch that ball past Profar diving at third base. And they've had a really good inning.
5 hits and a walk. And now Garver. Garver's kind of been swallowed up in the same thing that's affected almost all the Twins' right-handed batters. Garver's hitting almost 300 against righties, but only 175 against lefties. And if you want to look at the lineup and pick out a few areas as to why this team hasn't produced runs the way that it did last year, you'd have to start with the inability of the right-handed batters to hit left-handed pitching. Going back to the days when Brian Dozier was here, he struggled hitting.
That's odd.
And he mashed them against left-handers last year. Dozier hit just 247 against lefties, and about 100 points higher than that last year. Garver pops it back and out of play.
But I like this matchup with Moore against Garver because Moore is going to challenge him with fastballs, and he's been missing over the middle of the plate a lot this year, and that's why his ERA is elevated. He's not able to make big pitches when he has to. If Garver could be patient and get him something he can down the middle where he can put a good swing on it and get a couple of these Twins runners off base.
1-1. And a strike taken, 1-2. Another fastball. Garver with an infield hit and a fly ball to center. Would like to get at least that fly ball to score a 4th run this inning. A drive to left center field. It's down for a hit. It's going to run all the way to the wall. It'll clear the bases. And Garver with a 3-run double has tied the game. 6 runs in the inning for the Twins.
Very good patient at bat by Garver. He waited him out until he made a mistake. He had him down in the count. 2 strikes. Got ahead of him with fastballs. Tried to trick him and put him away with a breaking ball right here, just over the middle of the plate. Garver drilled that ball into the left center field gap and cleared the bases for 3 RBIs.
4 runs charged to Hutchison. 2 runs charged to Moore. And now Jake Cave. Hit by a pitch in the 2nd, bounced out to 1st in the 4th. Nice response by the Twins, falling behind 6-0. Cave right off the handle of the bat, strike 1.
Felt like he was going to hit him.
And a trip to the mound by Chirinos.
When it's going bad for you, the way it seems Matt Moore's season is gone. You know, every pitch is the wrong pitch, and I firmly believe that curveball, slow enough, that plays into Garver's swing was not a good pitch to him. He has a good cutter. Run the cutter or the fastball in on his hands. Don't let him get extended.
Just off the outside corner, 1-1. I mentioned it at the time, and of course I don't know how much of a difference it is, but Hutchison was cruising along. He set down 9 men in a row. He gave up the home run, and then the single to Adrianza forced him to go to the stretch after being in the windup for 3 innings. Checked his swing, taken for another ball.
I don't know if that played a role in it, but he was going from the windup when Tyler Austin hit his bomb to right field.
Yeah, but I mean, then to go from the stretch, which is a different delivery. Now, I think towards the end of your career, you pitched from the stretch the whole time, didn't you?
At my job, it was no use of having 2 sets of mechanics.
Cave lifts it foul, and it's 2-2. Two to Jake Cave.
Try to get him away out with the slider.
Foul back. Fastball. And had a good cut.
Chirinos set up in. Usually don't pitch lefties in from his scouting report.
Oh my gosh.
88 degrees. So like the frozen tundra's coming in.
The team bus has a windshield scraper. Checked his swing, 3-2.
It's a tough pitch to lay off on him from a lefty on lefty matchup. And Cave was able to not swing at Matt Moore's pitch. Now he's going to have to throw him a strike because he did not want to walk him right here.
Cave is the 9th man to bat this inning. Tap foul. Reinforcements behind Cave, or behind Moore, I should say. Alex Claudio. Rangers made a trade today. Their 8th inning guy, Guerin, was dealt to Oakland. Three and two again to Jake Cave. And a drive to right field.
Wow.
Back and gone. The Twins with an 8-run fifth inning. They've taken an 8-6 lead. Eight runs in the inning. There's still only one out.
Officially batted around.
And Austin started all of this with a solo home run to right.
Good hitters count. I'm just talking about Matt Moore trying to throw a strike. And with Cave laying off with that 2-2 breaking ball, he had to come and throw something over the middle of the plate because he didn't want to walk him. He was able to deposit that ball in the right center field bleachers.
Outside now to Austin. Austin just put a nice level swing. Fastball down the middle and hit it out to right to start this 8-run inning.
You're talking about two teams that struggle scoring runs.
Big cut there and a foul back.
I'm a fan of the caveman.
Twins had 8 runs in an inning against the Orioles back in early July. I remember somebody saying that Jake Cave was going to have a good series. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. You remember that guy that said he hopes that Polanco hits a couple home runs so they don't have to run around the bases?
Almost hit one out.
Yep.
For Cave, his 8th home run.
With that home run, neither starter would be in the decision.
No, Gonzalez was effectively taken off the hook. 1-2. Pop straight up in the air. And Chirinos looks like he has room. Just the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Adrianza. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Cave hitting the second home run of the inning. A no-doubter, 417 feet, left home plate at 107.2 miles per hour.
25-degree launch angle.
.45 pitches thrown by Texas pitchers this inning. Adrianza takes a strike on the outside corner. This game will never cease to amaze you. The Twins look dead in the water at the plate. Had a bad inning in the field. At the bottom of the 4th. Behind 6-0. And they get the leadoff home run by Austin. 7 runs later, they're still batting, and they have an 8-6 lead.
What we hadn't seen is somebody get 2 hits in the same inning yet. Let's go, Adrianza.
Singleton scored. Polanco's double.
Offensive explosion.
Right field line and then a spin into the seats. Now we are seeing what Jeff Bannister has had to watch since the All-Star break, that ERA of about 6. All 8 of these runs have been earned runs. 4 of them to Hutchison, the starter, and Moore's been stuck with 4 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. Garver's big 3-run double tying the game. Now Adrianza takes down and in 1-2. Indians beat Tampa Bay 3-0, but there are reports out there that they've added a third baseman, Josh Donaldson, with the theory being, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to put Jose Ramirez on the bench? Or will they move Ramirez to second and do something with Jason Kipnis?
Well, let's make sure that Josh Donaldson is healthy before we start playing musical chairs in the infield.
Right, I agree with that. Donaldson hasn't played the big league game since May. 2-2.
He's had a couple setbacks down on rehab.
Claudio warmed up, ready to come in. Popped up, and this will be a play. Just out of the reach of Gallo. Long half inning, as long as the bottom of the fourth was. It's been an even longer top of the fifth with a pitching change right in the middle of it.
This is Matt Moore's 39th pitch coming up.
This half inning alone has lasted more than a half an hour.
Hadn't noticed.
Don't notice it so much when your team does the scoring, do you?
That is so true.
And now he's run the count full to Adrianza with Mauer on deck.
Moore's had a tough go at it this year. 3-6 with a 6.95, and there's 4 earned runs tonight. That number's going to go up.
Ground ball picked up by Profar, and Gallo's able to retouch the first base bag to end the inning. Good inning for the Twins. They scored 8 times, hit a couple of home runs, and now they've got an 8-6 lead. Have an 8-6 lead. Garver's 3-run double to clear the bases to left center field. Tied it. Cave's home run put the Twins in front. And now suddenly McGill's in a position to pitch with the lead. And he delivers strike 1 to Jurickson Profar. Profar with a walk and a 2-run double as a right-handed batter. He smashed one off the fence against Gonsalves to start the scoring in the 3rd inning. Inside 1-1.
If there ever is a time to get a quick 3-up and 3-down inning, this is it right here. Team exploded for 8 runs. Go out there and get them back in the dugout so they can continue to swing the bats.
Something like 8 to 10 pitches would be ideal, wouldn't it?
6.
See? Well, now it's 2-1.
Feel the cool breeze.
3-1 with Gallo on deck. Still 88 degrees. Big pitch here for McGill.
Sac fly.
Back to McGill, and it'll die between the mound and second base, an infield hit. Put the glove up in self-defense and just slowed it down, and it's a leadoff hit for Jurickson Profar. And that'll bring bring Gallo up, and now he represents the tying run.
3-1 fastball from McGill to Profar. Was able to just beat it into the ground right over McGill's head. He turns around and has some awareness of where the position players are playing. He would have let that ball go.
Here is Gallo. He's hit 2 line drives for outs, one to left field, one to right field.
The one to right field in the 4th inning was a line bullet.
Big swing, and he fouled it off a leg. 1 strike.
Line drive in the 3rd inning to end the inning. The ball was crushed.
Yeah.
I think there's more fans at the Longview Lufkin football game than a high school football game, or here at the ballpark in Arlington.
1 strike to Gallo. Swing and a miss.
Great execution by McGill. Saw Garber set his glove up high. He wanted the high fastball, and he didn't have, only movement he had to do was close his glove. Perfect.
Fastball up.
With that type of swing, you're going to try to repeat that pitch.
Up and away, 1-2. McGill's got a couple of wins. Biggest issue's been keeping the ball in the ballpark, and this guy can hit it out of any ballpark. Struck him out going down low. First base occupied, so Gallo's retired, and a strikeout for the first out of the 5th. Bring up Chirinos.
Hmm.
2019 season tickets are on sale. Season ticket holders get the best seats at the best price and automatically become part of the Sweet Spot Rewards and Benefits program. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/season tickets or call 800-33-TWINS.
Great pitching sequence from McGill and Garber to Gallo, with the 2 fastballs up with the swing and miss, and the curveball down in the dirt that he had to swing over the top of.
Speed pitch taken low, ball 1. Chirinos with a walk in the 2nd, a fly ball to right in the 4th. Tapper toward the Twins dugout and in.
Ugly finder. The ball goes in the dugout. Whoever catches it, call it the ugly finder.
One and one. Last couple of half innings outs have been so hard to get for pitchers. Wouldn't it be something if they could get 2 outs on 1 pitch?
The pitcher's best friend you're speaking of. You just have nights like this. You've seen a few thousand plus games, and just one of those nights where you get the 2 strikes and you can't put the hitters away.
Runner goes. His throw skips off the glove of Adrianza and into short center, and Profar will end up at 3rd base. Stolen base, and there'll be an error charged, I assume, to Garber. Two and 1 the count.
Fastball down in the dirt. Garber comes up throwing, short hops Adrianza, and it all happened before Polanco be in position in the closer to 3rd base. He wasn't able to get back there and back up the throw. And Profar's at 3rd base.
Now 2 and 2, and if McGill could wish his way to another strikeout here in the 5th inning. That would be ideal with Carlos Tocci on deck. I showed you McGill's numbers when he was brought into the game. 46 2/3 innings, 44 strikeouts. He just struck out Gallo. Oh. Just low, I'm guessing, 3-2.
A well-placed fastball. 2-2 fastball from McGill. Tishner still not giving that pitch. He's not giving pitches in. Great execution. Just drill that fastball.
That was inside. Yep. Popped up. Bauer. Out of the room. And we ran into it in the Cleveland series. Plate umpiring wasn't very good. From the basis of, and I think that there's a big difference for me, and I think for most baseball fans. If the pitch is off the plate and is called a strike, that's not good, but that's not nearly as bad as the pitches that are thrown in the strike zone that aren't called strikes. That's the biggest mistake the home plate umpire can make.
And I'm with you 1,000%, Richard.
3-2. Got him a big strikeout for out number 2. And now Tocci will come up. The 9th place hitter comes up with 2 out and a runner at 3rd.
The 2-2 fastball, the pitch before that Robinson Chirinos fouled off. He was late. It was a good hitter's count, and he was late on it. In my mind, I'm telling myself, I'm throwing him another fastball. But if you're going to throw a breaking ball with that type of depth, going straight down, I'm all for it. That ball falls off the table for strike 3.
Tocci coming into the game hitting 204, so you're a Twins fan, you'd like to think he's gotten his hit for the day. A double and a run scored in the 4th.
Got that double after a long, tough at bat against Gonsalves. 3-2. Be able to get him a fastball he could handle and pulled it down the third base line.
1-1. McGill trying to pitch around the leadoff single. Two and 1. 4th inning wasn't real tidy for the Twins in the field. Only 1 error was charged, but there was another play that could have been made. Now the throwing error has the Rangers in business. Gabriel Moya getting loose. Shin-Soo Choo, left-handed batters on deck. 2-1. Ground ball toward the hole. Polanco backhands, fires on the run. 1 out throw, got him. Good play for Polanco. A nice way for McGill to end the inning, and we head to the 6th with the Twins up 8-6. Photo and message for the opportunity to be featured in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle during our broadcast and receive $100 in scratch tickets. With the Minnesota Lottery, every day is game day. One man deeper into the Texas bullpen. And it is Alex Claudio coming in for the 55th time.
Alex Claudio, fastball, slider, changeup. Fastball is 88 to 91 miles an hour. Changeup 69 to 73 is more like an eephus pitch. I like to see him throw it. Slider 74 to 77 miles an hour. And I remember Kirby Puckett telling me, either you throw above the speed limit or you throw below the speed limit. Never throw the speed limit. And like Claudio throws below the speed limit.
Mauer, first man he'll face, dropping down a bunt, not nearly enough away from home plate. He wanted to bunt that ball harder, and he's retired quickly, 1-away. And that'll bring up Polanco. Drove in a couple of runs with a double his last time up. Most baseball fans, I think, know this, but these two teams were both at one time Washington Senators. Senators, a charter member of the American League, and they moved to Minnesota in 1961, and behind them left an expansion team. And they played through 1971 in D.C. and then moved here to Texas in 1972. So both franchises playing tonight claim Washington, D.C. roots. One strike to Polanco.
Learn something new every day.
Thank you,
Richard. I had no clue.
Yeah, that was part of the deal. The Griffith family could move the Senators to Minnesota and call them the Twins, but then they had to leave a franchise behind, and they expanded in D.C. and also in Los Angeles, the Angels, and they continued to have attendance woes in D.C. and ended up moving here in 1972 to play the 72 season. 2 strikes to Polanco.
The last pitch was a 70 miles an hour. His changeup, which I like to call the eephus pitch.
It was all the way up to 76. 1-2.
Got some funkiness to his delivery. Drops down sidearm, slinging the ball across his body, creating a lot of deception. Going back with the changeup.
And Polanco checks his swing. It's 2-2. Rangers have 4 left-handed relievers, 4 right-handed relievers, and all of that will change as soon as tomorrow comes around.
And go back to the changeup.
And got a swing and a miss for out number 2. We'll bring up Grossman.
Matt Moore and a lefty throwing 92 to 94 miles an hour, last inning. Then you bring in Claudio, and he's throwing, highest pitch he's thrown at 85, and the lowest is 70, and the 70 is this changeup. Going to get a lot of the Twin right-hand hitters out on their front foot.
Down and in to Grossman. Grossman 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He was the first man that Matt Moore faced in the 8-run 5th inning. Taking low, 2-0.
Seen every pitcher tonight throw that same pitch and not get the call and have the same reaction. And tilt their head to the side like, wow, I thought that was a strike. No, it's not going to be a fastball.
And Grossman spanks it hard up the middle for a 2-out single. And that'll bring Sano to the plate. Sano for 2 with a walk. Hit one ball hard, lining out to the left fielder Chu, who made a diving catch back in the 3rd inning. Squibbed off the end of the bat. Sano's retired on one pitch. To the bottom of the sixth. Twins up 8-6. Mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports North and Twins baseball wherever you go. Gabriel Moya comes out of the Twins pen to try to put up a 0, maybe 2 here in the middle of this ball game against the Rangers.
Moya last pitched 8:30. Cleveland, one scoreless inning yesterday, featuring a fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. And I was watching him throw yesterday, and I was saying to myself, 2 days ago, I was saying to myself, I wish he would throw his changeup to left-hand hitters. And it's such an effective pitch, but I guess you have to have a lot of confidence to do it, and he just hadn't had the opportunity, well, he hadn't found the opportunity to be able to throw his changeup to some of those left-hand hitters, especially when he gets into those long counts.
The same plea you had for Gonsalves, right? Left-hander, yes. You want to see the changeup to the lefties.
I think well, I know the changeup is the best pitch in baseball.
Here is Shin-Soo Choo, then Odor and Andrus facing Moya in the Rangers' sixth. And first pitch strike.
Went into the clubhouse. One of the first people I see is Moya, and I looked at him. I was like, he's like, how are you? I said, I'm doing fine. I was like, you couldn't have thought of anything better to put on the back of your jersey besides little Guardado? Like, come on, Moya.
Well, they didn't do that when you were still playing, but yours would have been Hawk, right?
I don't know, Richard. I don't know what I would have put on mine. I probably would have gave, homage to some of the players that I looked up to, like Satchel Paige or Josh Gibson.
Trevor May looks like he'll be next out of the chute. Fouled back by Chu, and it's 1-2.
You see, he's been getting hit hard as of late, and I think it's watching the games, and I think it's because of his slider is not nearly as sharp as it had as we've seen it, early in the season when he was up. If he can get that slider sweeping away from that left-hand hitter and down and into those right-hand hitters, you can get a lot more swing and misses, or some soft contact.
1-2. Struck him out with a high fastball, went away. Chu retired. Now another left-handed batter, Odor. Moya getting a chance to pitch because of a trade the Twins made. The Twins traded veteran Zach Duke to Seattle. And probably appropriate for us to give updates as to what the former Twins are doing with their new club. Basically, Brian Dozier's doing for the Dodgers what he did for the Twins, pretty much the same batting average, an occasional home run and a double. Eduardo Escobar is doing for the Diamondbacks pretty much what he did for the Twins, although he has only 7 doubles at 37 in a Twins uniform. But hitting well, playing well. Zach Duke's really struggling in Seattle, got an ERA of over 8. And that deal hasn't worked out too well for the Mariners. Meanwhile, he leaves behind a situation where Moya is called up and gets a chance to get some big outs here in the 6th inning.
Well, I have a lot of confidence in Zach Duke. He has a tough go. He's having a tough go right now.
Up right side. But Rian's under it. 2 down.
If they go on a good push, a good run the month of September, he'll be a big reason why. Coming out of that bullpen, facing those left-hand hitters.
2 down, and now Andres, 2-run lead, so the Twins feel comfortable leading Moya in to face the right-handed batter. We should mention, since he too was with the Twins and traded to New York, Lance Lynn has done okay for the Yankees. Pitched a little bit better for them than he did for the Twins. The one thing he's done, which I was surprised to find out, he's kept the ball in the ballpark. He's only given up 1 home run in like 20 innings, and I thought him going to Yankee Stadium, there might be quite a few home runs hit against Lance Lynn, but that hasn't been the case yet. First pitch strike.
Not yet. I mean, that's a small ballpark, and he's throwing a lot of fastballs, and they're playing in a tough division, and they got some guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark in that American League East.
Yeah, just a few. On the ground. Juggling it is Polanco, his 2nd error. He took the ball in the play away from Adrianza, but then dropped the ball, and it's another 2-out error, and the inning will continue. Sloppy game in the field by the Twins. Mauer made an extraordinary catch diving to his right, but then the ball rattled out of his glove, and then Polanco now has committed 2 errors. Garver's committed a throwing error.
A good changeup by Moya, and pretty much the same pitch that that Elvis reached on an error the last time up to Polanco, and I don't mind him taking that ball right there because he's going towards first base and Adrianza going away from first base, so it would have been a tougher throw for Adrianza to make as opposed to Polanco.
Well, last time Polanco bobbled Andres' ground ball, Mazzaro followed with a home run. There's a pitch outside, ball 1. That was the end of the day for Steven Gonsalves. Moya will try to pitch around the 2-out error.
And Mazzaro, he's going up there. He's hunting the fastball. He is hunting the fastball, and he waited Gonsalves out until he made a mistake and got him a half fastball that he can drive out of the ballpark.
There's a fastball taken for a strike.
Fastball leaped right back over the middle of the plate, and Mazzaro's on time all the time for the fastball.
1-1. Swing and a miss. The fastball off the plate.
The 1-2 count, lefty on lefty. There's a couple things that Moya can do right here, and throw that sweeping slider down and out of the strike zone, or you can go in on him and try to get him with a fastball under his hands.
12th pitch of the inning for Moya. Fastball high. We've talked about it, but not, I don't think, during your telecast, how Twins bullpen is made up of relievers with some different looks. Between Oliver Drake straight over the top from the right side, Hildenberger with everything he does, Moya with a herky-jerky delivery.
Ooh. It's a good 2-2 pitch from Moya to Mazzara. He painted the outside corner, but Tishner hasn't given that ball down. He's called everything up. He hadn't called anything down.
3-2.
When we talk about the herky-jerky, I just think when you're wind up, your mechanics is fast. It kind of speeds you up all the time. I don't think you're ever able to get into a good rhythm.
Back to Moya. A changeup for the third out of the inning and a scoreless sixth inning.
Three-run home run right there from to cap off that 6-run scoring lead. And then the Twins exploded. Austin leads off the inning with a solo shot, and they'll continue to get 7 straight hits and 2 home runs in the 5th inning. Bases clearing double by Garver, and then Cave tops it off with a 2-run shot into the right center field bleachers. 8 runs. Great to see that for your home team. Great to see that.
Max Kepler will lead off the Twins 7th. Then Mitch Garver and Jake Cave, a couple of lefties out there, and they'll try to figure out how to do something against Claudio. Pitch is inside, ball 1.
And Kepler had a really good at bat against Matt Moore. When he didn't take that full swing, he kind of just, poked that ball past a diving Profar and shooting that ball into left field.
Floater at 69 miles per hour. Tapper foul, 1-1.
The Ephus pitch.
You ever throw anything that slow?
I don't think my arm will allow me to throw anything that slow. I'm just getting to the point now where I can throw batting practice, and when I go down to the minor, I throw batting practice to the guys. And the last 2 months, I've been throwing all 4-seamers. I never threw a 4-seamer in my career, so I always threw 2-seamers, so the ball moved too much. Hitters don't like batting practice. We don't want the ball moving. Well, it's going to move in a game, duh. But I've learned to throw 4-seamers and straighten it out, and I'm at about 54, 55 miles an hour. So hopefully, a good chance I can throw batting practice to the big boys in spring training.
Kepler dumps a single to left. Another hit against a lefty. So the leadoff man is on. That'll bring up Garver. MLB At Bat is your #1 Twins app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Twins home screen icons and features like MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Here's Garver. And if the Twins win this game, Garver's 3-run double, regardless of what happens from here on out, that 3-run double will be the biggest hit of the game. Clutch hit with the bases loaded, and a great at bat, and drilled a double to the wall in left center to make it a 6-6 game.
A 2-2 hanging breaking ball. And he was able to drive into the left center field gap to score all 3 runners.
And a ball. It's always interesting once you get to this time of the year to hear so-called experts argue about who should win this award, postseason award. And it's, of course, terribly premature anyway. We still have the most important month of the season coming up. I heard somebody the other day plotting or trying to make the case that Lorenzo Cain should get some National League MVP consideration. Mitch Garver, with his 3-run double, has 35 runs batted in. That's 1 more run batted in than Lorenzo Cain. He's got 34 runs batted in. There's another drive to left center field, and Garver's got another hit. He'll round first, dig for second. Rounding third and coming home is Kepler, and he is safe, and Garver's driven in his 36th run of the year with another ringing double to left center field. Mitch Garver with 3 hits tonight and 4 runs batted in.
Was able to sit back and wait on his fastball or cutter, whatever it was, coming in to him, set back and just drilled it, you know, almost in the same spot he drilled the double for the bases clearing situation in the 6th inning, 5th inning.
Good start to the 7th inning for the Twins. Now another lefty, Jake Cave. There's a bunt up the line, and bobbled by Gallo. Cave will reach, and this time the Rangers make a miscue in the field. Garver to third, still nobody out.
Before they call it hit or an error.
That should be an error. Even if he'd fielded it, Cave might have gotten a hit, but well placed bunt by Cave, and he would have gotten a sacrifice in any case.
I think he caught everybody off guard.
Yeah, maybe a hit.
And you heard Gallo call it early. I got it. He just reached down, went in his glove, and pulled it up without the ball.
Both a sacrifice and an error charged to Gallo. And here is Austin. Missing inside, ball 1. Austin started the 8-run comeback with a solo home run to right. His 15th home run of the year. Two and 0.
It's a good inning to keep piling on.
There's a number out there that will be enough to win the ball game tonight. I'm not sure 9 is it.
Let's just hope it is.
Toward the hole, backhanded nicely. A wonderful double play started by Andrus. From the hole quickly to Odor, and Austin hits into a double play. Garver does score from third, and the Twins have at least 2 here in the 7th.
Oh, Tyler hit in the hole. Looked like he was going to go for a base hit. Elvis Andrus, very good shortstop. He short hopped that ball on the backhand. Made a great throw to Odor. A good relay over to Gallo. Let's complete the double play. And no RBI for Mr. Austin right there.
No run batted in. And here's Adrianza. Well, the Brewers are going all in. We got Gio Gonzalez from the Nationals, Xavier Cedeno from the White Sox, and now reports that they got Curtis Granderson tonight.
Heard his name thrown around a lot the last couple of days. Curtis Granderson landed in Milwaukee. Just a good pickup for them.
Brewers pushing all the chips into the middle of the table, saying, let's go, let's try to hang on and get into the playoffs.
They hadn't played well as of late, and the Cubs are playing very well right now, and I figured they had to go out and do something.
Down and away. Cubs making some high-profile moves, getting Hamels from the Rangers, David Murphy from the Nationals.
And I think that's what the Brewer fans were a little upset about. They didn't do anything to address their pitcher rotation or the bullpen.
Profar fires high, and Adrianza's tagged right before he hits the bag. A couple more runs for the Twins. They lead by 4 as we go to the home half of the 7th. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. Rangers had 1 point, had a 6-0 lead tonight. The Twins have a 10-6 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and you can stretch it out on the grass at Target Field for Yoga Night, presented by United Healthcare, Wednesday, September 5th. Participants will receive a Twins branded yoga mat, Twins game tickets, and an on-field yoga class. You can reserve your spot today at twinsbaseball.com/yoga. Take a look at the road ahead, brought to you by Ram. 2 more games here. A night game tomorrow, day game Sunday, a day game on Labor Day in Houston, then 2 night games, and we'll pull into the Twin Cities sometime in the middle of the night Thursday morning. Then 3 with Kansas City, 3 with the Yankees at home, and then the final road trip of the year, and that too is a 3-city road trip. And then the Twins are done on the road and finish out at home. Still plenty of time for the Twins to get to 81 wins. They have 19 wins to get. They have to go 19-10 in their final ball games here to get to the 500 mark. Trevor May will hope to lock down an inning or 2 here as the Twins now have a 4-run lead.
Trevor May last pitch 8:29 in Cleveland. 1 1/3, 1 hit. Doing very well since he's come back from the Tommy John injury. Fastball's up in the mid-90s. Curveball is very good from what I've seen on television. And hopefully he can go ahead and finish out this season on a strong note and solidify his spot on his pitching staff for the 2019 season.
Well, the batters here in the 7th will be Adrian Beltre, Jurickson, Profar, and Joey Gallo. No Twins pitcher, and there have been 3 of them prior to May. No Twins pitchers had a 1-2-3 inning. May brings to the mound. Better pure stuff than any of the other 3 pitchers that have preceded him. Now, I believe you told me that this is the first time you've seen Trevor May pitch in person this year. Is that correct?
Right. I saw him early I think in May. He threw a couple bullpens down in Gulf Coast and Fort Myers with the extended spring guys. And I hadn't seen him since he's been on his comeback trail to the big leagues. But I know he's curveball 70 to 79 miles an hour, and it's been really sharp. Changeup, short run, good downward angle.
It's Beltre to chase. Well, I won't ask you now because that would be unfair, but now you're going to be doing the 3 games here and the 3 games in Houston. So at some point, maybe towards the end of the Houston series, after you've seen May pitch a couple of times, I'm going to ask your opinion about where he should fit in next year. There are some who think he could be a starting pitcher for the Twins and be a good one. Beltre swinging at the breaking ball, 1 away. There are some who think in the role that he's in right now, that's where he should settle in, kind of a middle late reliever. And there are some, and I'm one of those, who thinks this guy could be a closer. He's got closer type stuff. He's got swing and miss stuff. And you never know until someone's thrust in that position.
And that was a very good breaking ball right there to get Beltre.
You never know until they're in that position as to whether they have the temperament to blow a save on a Tuesday night and go back out there and get another one on Wednesday.
I think the key with him, and as we've seen throughout history with Tommy John surgeries, that first year guys are back, they're just okay. It's okay. You don't want to push them too hard because, you know, they're coming off of surgery, and you know they start to get better the further they get away from the surgery, and hopefully that will be the case with May.
Foul back. The fastball we've seen mostly at 93, 94. I think we've seen a couple of 95s. We've seen a swing and miss breaking ball and a swing and miss changeup.
I don't know what to tell you, Richard, but I can tell you what. Listen, if you ask May, he's going to be in a rotation.
Right.
If you ask him, he wants to start.
1 and 2. Perez is warming for the Rangers. 1 and 2 to Profar. Ooh, power against power, a foul on a 94-mile-per-hour fastball.
Hard fastball in a good spot, just above the hands. Profar was able to get a piece of that. If he can go back in there throwing that breaking ball down his back foot, hopefully he can get a swing and miss over the top of it.
Breaking ball in the dirt. You know, the spread between the fastball, which is in the mid-90s, and that breaking ball, which is in the upper 70s, that's a pretty big spread. If you're trying to hit Trevor May, you've got to try to cover a wide range of velocity there.
Well, that's true. The big league hitters do a good job at that.
2 and 2. Upstairs at 93, gets a swing and a miss, and he has struck out Beltre and Profar.
Going out there letting it eat.
Replay brought to you by Carrier. 93 miles per hour, up and away.
Good hard fastball. Profar wasn't able to catch up to. Not enough launch angle to be able to hit that ball up there.
Well, and here's Mr. Launch Angle himself, Joey Gallo. Fouled back.
There's a lot of places to throw the ball to Joey Gallo, and don't throw it right there.
Foul back. Taylor Rogers getting loose. It might be May's just going to be asked to get 1 inning the way Rogers is getting loose. You throw May 2 innings tonight, then he's not available for you tomorrow. 95 and another swing and a miss.
That's the spot right there. One of those spots where you continue to throw that fastball, and he can get that. You can get that swing and miss. They're going to elevate the fastball once again. Go for the punch out, strike out of the side.
Laid off that one.
Looks like May out there just letting it eat. I mean, every pitch he's throwing with everything behind it. Fastball. I was looking more for the breaking ball at the back foot.
Popped up out of play.
Fastball, fouled it back. Looks like he's trying to time it up a little bit, starting to get there. Now he can drop that good curveball. Little swing and miss.
And a breaking ball got him. He struck out the side. Veterans Beltre, Profar, and Gallo. May couldn't have had a better 7th inning. Isn't that fabulous? That's just great for the National League, and we wish it was that way in the American League. But you know, the Red Sox and Yankees are at the very high end in the American League standings with Houston. Here's Martin Perez. He'll pitch next with the Rangers running one left-hander after another out of their bullpen. It'll be Mauer, Polanco, and Grossman.
Perez was put in the bullpen. It was announced Wednesday post-game. He started 13 games so far this year for the Texas Rangers. 2-6 with a 6.95 ERA. Left-hand hitters are hitting .338 off him. Right-hand hitters are hitting .361. So you can see where his struggles have come from this year.
Mauer is 2 for 4. Tried to bunt his way aboard his last time up. Hit a double off the left field fence in the first. Singleton scored in the 8-run 5th inning. Now leading off the 8th.
A lot of fastball with sinkers to left-hand hitters.
The Twins dugout out of play.
When you see guys that throw sinkers and you see he struggles so far this year, that means everything he's doing is running back over to the middle of the plate. So everything is center cut. He hadn't had the command that he's had over the past couple of years, and that's very conducive to the reason why he's almost at a 7 ERA.
Tapper to second, chest high hop for Odor, one away. We'll bring up Polanco. Polanco's had an interesting night. A couple of errors on routine plays. He also got a big 2-run double and scored a run when the Twins took the lead. They hoped for good in the 5th inning. He's had a couple games with some tight hamstrings. Again, we don't expect Eddie Rosario to play any more on this road trip. Tap to the right side, and again, Odor has it. 2 down.
93 miles an hour fastball. Ian just ate Polanco up right there. Wasn't able to get the barrel to the ball.
And that'll bring up Grossman. Grossman 1 for 3. A walk and a run scored in the 5th. Down and away, ball 1. Still a chance that some other trades could be executed. The deadline is midnight Eastern time tonight. Foul away. And it's 1-1.
51 minutes.
It is getting that late, isn't it? Cooling off to 87.
I think I'll be needing that beanie hat that they're giving away.
2-1. The old ballpark here in Arlington, and they are building a new one just beyond the right field foul pole here. It'll open in the year 2020, but in the old ballpark here, as it is here, the visiting dugout was on the third base side. There's the games remaining here at this ballpark, which still looks as good as the day it opened 25 years ago. 3-1 to Grossman.
Well, they're definitely at work at the new ballpark across the street.
Grossman takes a walk, and that'll bring Sano to the plate. But at the old ballpark, the original Ranger ballpark, the scoreboard was in right field, and they had with a big display on top of the scoreboard in big numbers the temperature. And you'd be this time of night and it would be 96, and the visiting dugout couldn't help but see it, but no one in the home dugout could see how hot it was. They did that, I think, on purpose, to try to intimidate the visiting teams.
How many World Series championships did they win?
Inside the Sano. 1-0. Sano's walked and gone 0 for 3. He's hit one ball hard, has not struck out. He's hit one ball hard, a liner to left that Chu turned in a fine play on. And inside again, 2-0. New ballpark will be open again in 2020, so we'll be making one more trip here next year.
Can't remember. It's supposed to have a roof on top of it, right?
Yep.
It's gonna have a roof.
Yep. A retractable roof, I believe. 2-0. Rocketed over by the Twins dugout, and they scatter on the railing.
Jeez. The ball was crushed. You know, I pulled up to the ballpark today. I didn't even notice. You know, they changed the parking lot around. They got that area where you can eat at in between the football stadium and the baseball stadium. I was blown away. I was like, wow. Guess it's been a year since I've been over here. Last year when the Twins came to town.
Sano takes high, 3-1. Now we should clarify, you live north of here about what, an hour or so?
I live 63 miles from the parking lot to my door in Prosper, Texas.
And Torrey Hunter's your neighbor.
We live in the same town, probably a quarter mile away from each other.
Oh, okay. I mean,
yeah,
I understood before that, you know, if he needed a cup of sugar when he was baking,
no, we're not that close.
Baking cookies, he'd just come next door. Okay.
Good old Prosper, Texas, just north of Frisco, where the Rough Riders play, which is the Texas Rangers Double-A team.
That's right. Yep. 3-2 to Sano.
Got a feeling. He throws something down the middle of the plate. This ball is going to go a long way.
Full count to Sano. And he walked them. So back-to-back 2-out walks, and that'll get Kepler to the plate. Kepler already has 2 hits against lefties here tonight, and he's come around to score both times.
Nothing wrong with keep adding on right here. Let's go, guys. Richard, don't you want to see more runs scored from the Twins side?
Yeah. Kepler, 2 hits here tonight. And one of the things I'd like to see from Max, because I think it's in there, just more multi-hit games. And what's happened here in the second half of the year, when he's gotten a hit, it's been 1 hit, you know, and
one and done.
It's hard to get your batting average to climb if you're only going to get 1 hit a night. Check swing and a foul, a strike. One strike to Kepler. And I think even through his mask, you can see Chirinos smiling in amazement that that pitch wasn't called a strike. It's been a struggle for both teams trying to get strikes called from Todd Tishner. And now in the dirt, 2-1.
Tishner is the only one in the ballpark probably not sweating, seems like. He's let a lot of close pitches go. I bet they didn't do that when they had that big temperature in the old ballpark.
2-1. A high fly down the right field line to the corner and caught on the run by Mazzara, and that ends the inning. A couple of men left aboard. Hopefully it won't matter. The Twins lead by 4. And Trevor May's out there to pitch at least the start of the 8th inning. He's got Robinson, Chirinos, Carlos Tocci, and Shin-Soo Choo lined up to face somebody. And Chirinos takes high, ball 1. May struck out the side. Beltre, Profar, and Gallo in the 7th.
He made it look pretty easy. He set all 3 of those guys up with the fastball elevated in the zone and put them away with the breaking ball.
May is pitching so far this year with reverse splits. Left-handers hitting about 100 points less than right-handed batters. 2-0. And a strike on the outside corner.
Robinson Chirinos is a little upset right there because that ball was clearly way away, and you can see Garber snatches it back in the strike zone. And Chirinos said, "You hadn't called that pitch all night." Oh God, get down.
I think it hit him. He's claiming, I think they hit him in the lips. Raised him in the lips. And he's holding. I think it brushed his beard, his goatee.
It definitely brushed his beard, and that's kind of scary.
That is a reviewable play, by the way, and I think Jeff Bannister is going to ask that they review it.
Wow, that was close.
Yeah, and I don't know how in the world they're going to be able to see this on replay.
Those cameras that they have in the office in New York, they'll be able to figure it out.
So we'll see whether this challenge is overturned.
He closed his eyes.
I don't know how they could, even on this replay, how can you? The ball was caught by Garver.
Yeah,
it didn't change direction.
Watch his chin. Watch his cheek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A little flap of the cheek. And they're going to award him first base. Well, I think that's the right call.
He doesn't understand how lucky he is right there. That ball just grazed his cheek.
Yeah. So Chirinos is aboard. Watch the right cheek.
Just grazed his hair.
Wow. He is very, very lucky.
Wow.
Tochi will hit.
See something new on a baseball field every day.
Outside ball 1. The second inning hasn't gone as well for May as the first, obviously. Now pitching with a man aboard, but now pitching to the number 9 batter. There's a strike.
Good fastball on the outer half of the plate. Looks like one of those pitches that umpire hadn't called a strike all night.
Missing inside with an off-speed pitch, 2-1.
May out there talking to himself. I hope he's telling himself, stop opening up and rushing and get everything back in sync. He's flying open to the glove side.
Foul back 2-2. Ten hits, a dozen hits, 3 errors for the Twins, 7 left, 6-7, 1-7 for the Rangers. Taylor Rogers getting loose, left-handed batting Shin-Soo Choo and Rougned Odor are lined up next. Fouled away. And the sample size isn't a full season, but it's only 5 at-bats against lefties. And May's given up just a 160 batting average. And 23 at bats against righties, and they're hitting .261, so it's just the opposite of what you might think.
I think that's because he used his changeup against lefties, and there's a good chance he's not using it against righties. A 2-pitch guy against righties and a 3-pitch guy against lefties.
There's Chu. He's in the on-deck circle.
Stay on this breaking ball and get it down the strike zone.
It's foul.
That's the breaking ball we're talking about, but not in that location that we wanted. We wanted it at the bottom of the zone, really similar to the pitch that he struck out. Beltre on last inning.
Foul. 4 2-strike fouls here for Tochi in this battle. And May's pitch count now is up to 28. The 1-2-3 inning he had in the 7th is the only one pitched by Twin tonight. He's brushed Chirinos' chin. 2-2 to Tochi. Foul. The length of this at bat, a sure thing. I would think now that whenever this at bat ends, there will be a pitching change.
The slider down in a way that Tochi was able to punch into the seats to stay alive in this at bat.
Everything he's throwing, fastball, breaking ball, he's getting a piece of everything. You want the same-sided changeup, same thing you wanted from the left-handed pitchers. You want to see May to do that here too.
Fouled off his fastball, his slider, curveball. Either make a better curveball down in the zone or throw something he hadn't seen before. Going back with a curveball.
Yeah, got it.
I said throw a better curveball, and that's a 12 to get down to 6 curveball right there.
Well, May faced 5 batters. No one put the ball in play. He struck out 4 of them and brushed Chirinos' jaw to put him up on first, but that's a real good breaking ball. And May has a really good outing with 1 out in the 8th. He leaves behind a man aboard.
Lead over the Texas Rangers. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form and the account and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Big night for Mitch Garver and the Twins. They gave away the first 6 runs and scored 10 unanswered runs, and now Taylor Rogers will try to get us to the 9th inning in a 10-6 game. Rogers has been really, really good lately, and he's got 2 good left-handed batters to face here in the 8th inning. There's a first pitch strike to Chu.
Taylor Rogers coming in the game to face the 2 lefties at the top of this Rangers offense. Lefties are hitting a 193 clip off of him. He's been very good lately, like Richard has said, and hopefully he can continue that good stretch.
Be very surprised if, given the appetite contending teams have had for relief pitchers, I'd be very, very surprised if the Twins weren't contacted by other clubs about Taylor Rogers because of his effectiveness against lefties. And there's a called strike. Lefties since June 28th are hitting 4 for 39 against him. That's a 103 average. And he's not allowed an extra base hit to a left-handed batter this year.
We had a conversation with him in the food room in the clubhouse about how has this year been different from last year. And he was talking about how he's had to make some adjustments because the league had made some adjustments to him. And I told him that's going to be out throughout the rest of his career. And we just had a good talk about, pitching and doing what he does well, and that's going out there, getting lefties out, and pitching ahead in the count, whether it's a lefty or righty.
2-2 to Chu. Breaking ball got him. What a great pitch. And first May, and now Rogers racking up bullpen strikeouts. 2 down.
And that's a tough pitch for a lefty hitter to even pull the trigger because it starts so far behind him that you can see Chu's front side just collapse, and that ball breaks over the plate for a strike.
2 down, and now Odor.
His arm angle and where he steps and where he stands out on the rubber definitely gives left-hand hitters a different look and a tough look to even being able to have a good swing on.
We just left Cleveland, and the Indians are crossing their fingers that Andrew Miller can get back and be as effective as he was the last couple of years for them. But this guy has got Andrew Miller kind of stuff. I mean, it's 93, 94 miles per hour with a fastball with a wipeout breaking ball. Now, Miller's done it on the big stage, in postseason play and all that. Rogers hasn't done that, but
when you compare the two, Rich, you have to look at where Miller was at this stage of his career as opposed to Rogers, and he didn't start, trending in the right direction until he got rid of the leg kick and just, pretty much slide stepping on every pitch, and he created deception. The ball, his control was better. So you compare the two, they're right. He's right. Rogers right on pace.
You're saying Miller dropped the leg kick and went with the slide.
Miller dropped the leg kick, but at this time, his second, third year in the league, I mean, it wasn't going so well for him. I mean, it was a struggle until he got rid of that leg kick and just went straight with the load and go, we like to call it now, not slide step, the load and go.
1-2 to Odor.
We're going to see this big sweeping curveball.
Missed low or inside, and it's 2-2. Back to the curve.
Back up the curveball.
And got him. Another brilliant outing for Taylor Rogers. Strikes out Shin-Soo Choo and Rougned Odor. We go to the 9th with the Twins up by 4. finish tonight. Mitch Garver with a couple of ringing doubles to the gap in left center.
Garver's getting some good pitches, been able to put a good swing on it. You know, 2 doubles tonight, 4 RBIs. One of the major reasons why the Twins exploded in the 5th inning for 8 unanswered runs.
And he added another RBI double later on. 3 hits for the Twins catcher, and he'll lead off the 9th inning. Facing Perez. 4 runs batted in, giving Garver 36 on the year.
See if he can get another breaking ball, he can drive in the gap.
3 hits has his average up to 268. Drive to center field. Tochi going back, and he will drop the ball at the wall. Garver round second. He's on his way to third, and he's going to be held there. So Garver, I don't know how they'll rule it, but he may have gotten his 3rd extra base hit. Tochi glided after it, and the ball bounced right out of his glove.
Looked like he hit the wall right as the ball was going into his glove and kind of disrupted his timing in catching that baseball.
But regardless of how they rule it, this is another very well hit ball. Well, they give him a triple. I would give him an error. That ball should have been caught. There was no reason for him not to catch that ball, was there? Garver will take the triple. Infield in now.
How do you give him a base hit right there? And I'm like, I know I'm a Twins guy,
but
they
have changed it now. Originally, and what happens is the official scorer sits in the press box and way apart from us, and he makes his ruling and hears some squawking, and then he immediately changes it.
Why did he have to hear the squawking?
I can't help you there.
Because clearly that ball is a catchable ball without having to dive for it or, you know, have to deal with the elements. It was just, just didn't focus on securing the ball in the glove.
See what Cave can get done here behind in the count 0-2. Tapped it foul, stayed alive.
But like you said, that ball was well struck by Garver once again, and he's had some really good at bats tonight against some Texas Ranger pitching.
Cave's home run in the 5th inning against Moore, his 3rd against lefties this year. And swing and a miss, a strikeout. And that'll bring up Austin.
So well placed fastball with 2 strikes from Martin Perez. Jake Cave. Ball was in, wasn't over the middle of the plate where he can get a chance to get his arm extended and supply his power.
Now here is Austin, and as a Twin, he came into the game hitting .357 with 3 home runs against lefties. So the overall numbers are good, but this Twins lineup that, for whatever reason, has struggled against lefties has been given a shot in the arm with the biceps of Tyler Austin.
And he has some big biceps.
1-0. Twins would love to get Garver in from third.
Bless you.
Sliced foul.
I'd like to see him land the one.
It was
another one.
His solo home run to right in the 5th started the 8-run inning. Twins were down 6-0 and had done nothing against Drew Hutchison before the 5th inning.
And as they say, then the wheels fell off. I'd like to see him hit that Hyundai sign. Budweiser.
That's a bouncer stopped by Andrus. A nice play, and he throws him out. Kind of scrambled to his left. Garver didn't dare come home. And Odor slow in getting up. He dove for the ball that never got to him. And Odor appears to be okay. Nice play by Andrus. 2 down. And now Adrianza. Single and a run scored in 4 trips. Fastball zipped inside off the plate, ball one. Oliver Drake and Trevor Hildenberger getting loose.
Two right-hand pitchers with completely different looks.
2-0. Grounder to third, backhanded by Profar, and the inning ends. The Twins will take a 4-run lead in the bottom of the ninth. Tyler Austin's home run leading off the top of the fifth inning. Then a couple of big doubles by Mitch Garver, big home run by Jake Cave. And it's all added up to a 10-6 Twins lead with 3 outs to go. And Trevor Hildenberger will be tasked the job of getting those 3 outs.
It's the Hildenberger. I said him and Drake were warming up, and Molly opted to go with Hildenberger to get the last 3 outs of this ball game, featuring a 90 to 94 miles an hour fastball, good slider, changeup, and a slurve, as we like to call it. Get that good release point, pitch down in the zone, and get 3 ground balls to secure this victory for the Twins.
5th relief pitcher used. The only relievers not used: Drake, Buznitz, and Reed. Not a save situation, but it really doesn't matter at this point. This is another opportunity for Trevor Hildenberger to finish off a win. And an opportunity for him to show that the Twins don't need to look out of the house to find their closer next year. We mentioned May and possibility that he could fill that role for the Twins next year. Hildenberger's done it now. He's done a good job of it. Check swing. Did he go? Bill Miller said he did. As Andres has played more and more with Adrian Beltre, it seems like he's adopted a little bit more of Beltre's personality and his antics, and there's nothing wrong with that. Beltre is one of my favorite players to watch play. Enjoys his time at the ballpark, and I think we've seen that from Andres too. 1-2. Missed inside.
Fastball in on him to get the check swing, the excuse me swing, and then he just followed that up with a 74 miles an hour changeup. It's almost an Ephus pitch as well. double up on the changeups. Get it up from ball to.
Just inside 3-2. Andres, Mazzara, and Beltre.
When you throw that changeup, you don't want it to be ball to strike. You want it to look like a strike, so you want it to be strike the ball, so it appears, so you can get a swing at it.
That's an opening walk here in the 9th inning. We'll bring Mazzara to the plate. And Andres has reached all 5 times here tonight. 2 singles, he's reached on 2 errors, and now a walk in the 9th inning. So Mazzara's had a chance to do some damage at the plate, and he did in the 4th when he crushed a 3-run home run to make the score 6-0 Texas. Since then, obviously, it's been all Twins. And that was fanned out by Garver. It'll be a pass ball, allowing Andres to go to second. Came all the way through Garver and looked like the first contact it made was with the home plate umpire.
That was kind of bizarre. Two-seam that just
off the thumb of the glove.
Two-seam that kept going down, and Garver just whiffed it.
Pass ball to Garver.
It looked like a strike.
And now that one is in the strike zone. I wonder how many of those, and I'm not talking specifically about Garver, but there's so much emphasis on framing pitches and trying to steal some pitchers, some strikes for your pitcher.
I still don't understand how do you steal a strike that's a strike. I don't get it.
Fouled away. Because essentially what you're doing is you're successfully deceiving the umpire. The umpire still has to do his job to call the strikes that are strikes. But so many of the pass balls, it seems, and it might have been the case here with Mitch, where he's trying to catch the ball and
frame
with the appearance that the glove was in the strike, or the pitch was in the strike zone, when in fact it was not.
But I think throughout our minor league system, we're starting to teach the funnel to the chest as opposed to the
Polanco fields and throws.
Funnel to the chest as opposed to snatching the ball from ball to strike, and that looks so obvious. But we're funneling the ball to the chest like this. Everything comes towards the chest, so it's here, not that. Snatching it back towards the middle, snatching the ball, the glove back towards the middle of the plate. Everything's funneled into the chest.
Beltre's 0 for 3 with a walk. Absent the pass ball, there would have been a force play at second. Don't think they would have doubled up Mazzara. Ball 1 to Beltre. Off of Garver's target, but Hildenberger and the Twins got the call.
Garver set up in, and he had to reach across his body because the pitch was right over the middle of the plate.
And this one on one hop to the second baseman. Beltre retired. A run comes in. It's a 3-run ball game, but there are 2 outs.
Trade a run for an out.
Scored, I would imagine, unless somebody hits a double here, would be an unearned run because of the pass ball. Profar has walked, doubled in, 2 runs, singled, stolen a base, and struck out. Two down. Hildenberger to Profar. To the backstop, ball 1. 13 pitches for Hildenberger, only 7 strikes. The leadoff walk has come around to score. And now 2-0. If Profar reaches, Gallo would have a chance.
The last thing you want to be doing is walking a guy with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Yeah. Hildenberger's walked half the batters he's faced here. And it'll bring up Gallo, who's lined out twice and struck out twice. Joe Mauer being waved back by manager Paul Molitor, play behind the runner. And he misses on the first pitch to Gallo. Don't want to fire up the bullpen, but the fact of the matter is, if Gallo reaches, Chirinos comes to the plate as a tying run, and now Garvin Olson's going to come out, try and settle down Hildenberger. He does not give the appearance of being someone that's ready to get fired up to finish the ball game. Oliver Drake.
Well, I think in the last inning, he and Hildenberger were warming up,
right,
and he got hot, so I'm sure it wouldn't take much for him to get going again. Let's just hope we won't need him, and throw one pitch right here and a ground ball to Adrian's at second base. Secured his victory for the Minnesota Twins.
Back to the mound. That's a heck of a trip to the mound. And the Twins win the opener here in Texas, 10-7. LaTroy, the bullpen was outstanding. They pitched 5 1/3 innings of 1-hit relief.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Gonsalves wasn't able to stick around long in that game. Gave up 6. Offense came blaring back with an 8-run 5th inning. Bullpen came in and did what they needed to do, and